look at me. I'm Julian.
Anybody that it's got something intelligent, it's got a cool little setup, it's got an interesting personality, and it can sell an interesting conversation, theoretically can start a podcast.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
I normally chuck a compressor on it and an adaptive limiter. Not that I know what that does. But I do it every time.
Hell yeah.
And it comes out sounding pretty good. On the Peronis.
Yeah. It's a good staple in this house is Peroni.
Did you ever go to Coronas?
Yeah, of course.
That was like I feel like I always thought that was like the universal standard of beer when I was growing up.
Really?
Yeah, like
standard.
Yeah, like it seemed like the Coca-Cola of beers.
Okay.
Like as a brand. I don't know if that's true, but that's what it seemed like to me.
Maybe that's a WA thing. Maybe no, standard beer was shitty 2 extra dry, which is just garbage. Like
like people over this side of the country don't seem to care as much about Coronas.
Oh no, I think it's when they when it's a hot as hell day, you want a cerveza.
Cerveza.
To be refreshing.
What's a cerveza?
I guess it's the type of beer that Corona is.
Is it? So there's different. Oh, like it's a cerveza and not an ale.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
Like a Dos Equis or Corona or Modelo. I guess those type of Central American beers.
Wow.
Just about being refreshing. I'm refreshed. It is a Friday night, so I'm winding down. Peroni.
I mean,
Italian beer in the house.
I don't think of beer as being refreshing.
No, neither do I.
Like, no matter like what kind it is, you know. It's the same with wine. Like I don't have a wine and go, oh man, I am so refreshed after that cab sauv.
Oh, that's what that. Yeah, that's what that. The whole tagline about a VB or a 2 is. It's just like you've been hard at work all day. Maybe that's a solo.
You need a stocker. A hard solo. You need to stock up your liquids.
Big cold beer, Victoria bitter. But yeah, that's a Victorian thing. So
you ever had Emu Export?
Those dickheads. No.
You ever heard of Emu Export?
Sorry, but it's cussing. No, I've not heard of Emu Export. Is that a WA thing?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah.
I don't think many emus made it fucking that far east.
You know, what I can't oblige is 4X.
Yeah.
Like you had 4X Gold?
Yeah.
You know you're in for a bad night if you're on that.
It's pretty piss tasting, that's for sure. But
if you're up at the Gabba. If you're up at the Gabba watching the Lions, drinking your 4X.
Yeah, look, we're all very loyal to our alcohol, I think, as a country. Different states.
What about Canadian Club?
Yeah, I don't mind that.
No, they are easy, hey.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do you have a middle name, and is it Michael?
No, I don't. Well, I do have a middle name. It's not Michael, though.
Oh, all right. I don't know why. That was just my guess.
The middle name is Paul.
Paul.
I don't know if it's so Anthony Paul.
That's even better than Michael. Paul the Apostle. Yeah, he wrote like 90% of the New Testament.
90%?
Nah, probably not 90%, but he wrote a lot of it.
From what I know, he wrote a couple of letters. That's as far as I know. Or like, didn't he lie or something as well? It's like, well,
here's me just like throwing out false information from the get-go. Yeah, Paul, 90%.
It's a big testament.
No, I don't think he did any lying. Not from what I know.
Oh, well, the guy that's like, you're going to lie 3 times before the sun comes up, but then he lies.
No, that's Peter denying Christ.
The name starts with P.
Totally different.
Close enough.
Ah, Paul.
Paul. Actually, no, Paul's the guy at the gates of heaven. Isn't he? Or that's someone else.
No, Paul was originally Saul, who was like chief persecutor of the Jews. No,
AKA
Sorry.
Goodman.
This is terrible. Might just have to like throw this whole podcast away already.
No, it's fine. Middle name's Paul, so
Chief persecutor of the Christians. So he was killing all of the... He was like the best at killing all the Christians. And then he was on the road to Damascus. And that's when Jesus appeared to him. And he converted from being chief murderer of Christians into the greatest of all the Christian apostles. Outside of the original 12.
I like that.
And that's why he's so amazing and why his testimony has stood up through history is because he was known as he hated Christians more than anyone did.
And he's a converted one.
Yeah. And that's why if someone ever says to you, like, you're on the road to Damascus, it means that you've like totally repented. You've done like a 180.
I like 180s.
Yep.
They're always a good thing to do. I've done a 180.
Like in life?
Yeah.
How so?
A couple of them. Well, I left with my career or my work. Stop doing 9 to 5, sitting at a desk, being inside. I just I work outside, 7 till 3.
Yeah.
Using my body.
Yeah.
Using machines as opposed to writing emails and phone calls and meetings and talking to more than one person at one time.
You're much more tan.
Yeah, it's a it's a good thing. So this hot summers of getting sunstroke and getting burnt, but most of it's okay. It's hard when you got to. The one thing I hate is thorns. Like all the evolution of shit being outside. Why do things have thorns on them? Like, just don't have thorns. It's shit. But otherwise, yeah, the 180 turn, working inside to outside was a huge change, and like, you need that stuff. You need to just flip it on its head and just change up.
Do you think it's so, like, it's a defense mechanism?
Probably.
So the plants don't get eaten?
Probably, maybe. It's just, yeah, pet hate of the outside thing. In terms of, like, the 180 turn, there were great things to it, but there's also things that just hurt. Like, yeah, getting scratched up, cut open.
Are you dealing with, I guess what, are you dealing with thorns on a daily basis?
Not daily, but, like, they come up, and it's not fun. Like, no matter how many pairs of gloves you can try and put on, they still get you, and it hurts. And it's but I will never, not do the 180. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. No, that's good. Yeah, I'd love to work outside.
Yeah.
I'd love just a new job in general. So, prayers up for that. So, like, one of the first questions that I actually have here
I'm happy about that.
is, what?
You got a question?
I've got plenty of questions, bro.
That's great.
Tons of questions. But we're going to kick it off with this one.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, firstly, it's interesting because, like, of all the people that I've spoken to on this podcast so far, you're definitely the person that I know the most.
Okay.
And so it's funny when you're like writing questions and stuff because you feel like the conversation as well could just go in so many more directions than just like, people that
the most
are less acquainted with.
You know me, but like I think there's some things you don't know, or that you might know.
Well, there's probably tons.
Yeah.
And interestingly, like I met you before I knew who you were. Like, before Ghost Attack introduced us,
Yeah.
I remember you coming into Manny's and you were asking questions about that drum thing that was up on the riser.
Asked you specifically?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, definitely.
That's mad. Oh, Manny's was the best way to have a lunch break. Just play drums for 20 minutes and go back to work. Because I could just walk down there and play drums and then go back to work. It was the best way.
How long was your lunch break?
I don't remember, maybe half an hour, 40 minutes or so, or maybe an hour. I can't remember.
That is dedication.
It's a good release. I love coming to Manny's to just talk drums. But yeah, that's random that we would have spoke before being like, oh, that's Julian. And then even after, I think that after Mark put us together or said, hey, reach out to this guy, he'll jam with you. That was all it took. Anyone... Not take very long for me to just write to someone and say, hey, let's jam.
All right, so back to the first question.
Yeah, go for it.
How has your perception of time... Because I know that you're someone that seems... obsessed is too harsh of a word, but you think about time a lot.
Yeah.
And so, like, how has your perception of time changed since becoming a father? Because as an uncle, like 20 times over, I have always felt like just this hyper awareness of like, wow, these kids are growing up so fast. It's crazy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just imagine, and I'm their uncle, so I just imagine being their parent who's around them all the time. That effect must be like multiplied exponentially.
Yeah, well...
So yeah, sorry, I know that's like a question
that's
and
all right.
a statement, but that's how
No, it's a question based on as well what you can relate it to. You're asking perception of time.
yeah, and how being a parent has changed that. Because I would think that it just like, and I guess I'm looking to whether that's true or not. Like, I just imagine that like little Violet's asleep right now. God bless her. Like, she's 8 months old. She's never going to be 5 months old again.
She's never going to be 8 months old again.
Yeah. She's never going to be, she's never going to be 2 months old again. She's 8 months for this time, and then she's never going to be this small again.
Yeah, what's crazy? So
in the blink of an... Sorry, I know I'm like talking over you.
All right, bro.
Like, in the blink of an eye, I'm not going to be able to like feed her at the high chair. She'll be like, no, you're not feeding me. Feed myself.
Well, yeah, hopefully at blink of an eye, you'll be sitting there with her own plate, and she'll be taking your chips off your plate and just stealing food and giving food to the dog like she's doing right now. She only the other day figured out, I'll just give some food to the dog. He'll just take whatever. So, like, mission. Sorry if I cuss, by the way. I got a foul mouth. But perception of time is like, okay, the way I can put it is before Violet. Like, okay, I want to preface this all by saying, like, as a drummer, I've probably got equally great time. It's also equally shit, terrible time. Because I choose, sometimes I've got terrible timing with things I do and say, or other times I've got really great timing. And with my music, I think I'm pretty much on time because I know I tap into time within my own, like, pulse. Everything has a pulse. But then perception of time before Violet was like, shit's infinite, like, not like infinite, but it's just like I can go as slow as I want, or I can be as fast as I want or as slow as I want. And then the way we perceive time is about how present you are, I guess. And it's like, are you going to live in this moment and be present in that moment, or are you going to, like, immediately in the past, I dwell on shit too much, dwell on the past. So then dwelling on the future. So then perception of time is like you're stuck in this back and forth between the past and the present and the future. And you're like, fuck, like, being present, that's the goal, that's the end goal. Presentness, being present. Violet forced that to happen. Like, when she's born, it's like, she's here now, done. Like, shit's going on right now. You can't fucking stop. She's a week old, she's 2 weeks old, she's a month old. In the first 2 weeks, she's like, she can't do anything. She's a blob, a beautiful blob. And we keep her clean, give her the bottle. Perception of time was that my life was in 4-hour chunks because she has to feed every 4 hours. So 24 hours a day is done. It's like, fuck it. Like, whatever time it is, if she's hungry again or she's dirty again, then you just help her and do it. And then as she grows, then little windows of time where she'll sleep longer, and then we can sleep. And then getting used to broken sleep, it's like, whatever, I can survive on 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Or if I have broken sleep. So, like, perception of time is about, well, I'm growing with her in a way, seeing her grow, appreciating what she's doing. In the space of a month, she'll learn to crawl, she'll learn to climb on shit. She's now, my house has to be baby proof. She's going to knock my stuff off the counter. She's going to pull my PS5 on the ground and smash it if I'm not careful to baby proof the house. So it's like, the way I can answer this, I know it's a long-winded response to a question, as what Mito does usually. She's made perception of time be totally present, which is good, because we all need that in some way. As opposed to dwelling on the past and dwelling on the future, and, like, obviously we plan for the future, but it's like no more of this, like, oh, that already happened. It's like, Val doesn't give a shit about what happened yesterday because she's doing now. And that's great to watch because everything she does is so new. And it's just awesome to see that. And just love, being on that journey with her, you know what I mean? So is Ree, and like, it's just mad. So I hope that sort of gives context. And whether I say shit timing, I don't know. I mean, like sometimes I just got the worst timing with things I say and do. So whether that's happened to you, it probably has. Where it's like, fuck me, though.
I mean, I've thought that at times, but like as I've gotten to know you more, I feel like you have like fantastic timing when things are like actually important. Sure. So I think that like if you seem like you've got bad timing, it's got more to do with me not understanding the like order of importance of things.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I could really trip out on that thought about like time, because the more you talk about it, makes me think that like time. We say the word time, right? Mm-hmm. But it's really not actually a thing. Like it's time itself is almost like an abstract concept in a way. Like it doesn't exist the same way that like this table exists or the microphone exists or Violet exists. Like, and that goes
I can
back,
vibe on that. I can dig that.
That goes back to music, right? Like time is like a measurement. It's a measuring device.
Yeah.
It's a thing that we agree upon so that we can rock up at the same place at the same time and hang out and do things. But time in and of itself, you know, and I imagine that that's what's happening when you're present with Violet, right? And like when you're present with anyone, like in the moment and you're in that awareness, your concept of time just it completely disappears and you're not thinking about time.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like that phrase, it's like, time flies when you're having fun. Or, like even it's like, there's the right time for everything. Like there's moments I can say, well, I wish I met Rhiannon when I was 21 years old, but then I met her when I was 27 years old. Or I wish I met Julie when I was way younger, or starting drums or not. Or anything. Timing or anything. Wish I did anything differently time-wise. But then it doesn't serve a purpose to dwell on that shit. It doesn't help the present. That's all. But
is reflecting upon those things, whether they're like regrets or not, like is that always connected to time? No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Not. Try and regret the things you didn't do, as opposed to things you did. Because when you did them, you wanted to do it at that time and with place. You wanted to fucking do it. No matter how dumb it was once you did it, or not dumb. But
and then I think that there's interesting things like duration is another thing. Like some moments maybe have like a different duration to them depending on what you're doing. Like certain, like an hour can feel like 10 hours or something like that, depending on the activity.
Yeah.
And like maybe awareness or presence or consciousness, like also has the ability to do the opposite thing where like it can kind of like expand.
Well, what I can say, I just triggered my thought was like when Violet was small, I was off work for 2 months. So weeks felt short and the months felt long, or like I was in a bit of a bubble in that first 2 months, and like not that time stopped, but like we were in our own little space. So like things felt longer because obviously when you're not on this like sleeping and waking cycle like everybody else day and night, like everything all blends together. So a week could feel like ages because you're up at all hours or whatever it is. So it's just time. Yeah, relative. It's a concept. I'm playing drums, I can play as fast as I want, and then in an instant I can say we're going to slow down, and then we can just go slower. Or so music is great for that. That's why music makes us feel great and can make us feel everything we feel. Like, you know what I mean? So taps into our time. Time is pulse. We have a pulse. Like her heart beats faster than ours because she's smaller.
Really?
Yeah, like when she was born, her stomach was the size of like a cherry. Like she had, just so you know, grow so quickly. That's crazy with time. Like Makes you realize this shit, really, of a small kid.
Do babies' hearts beat faster than adults?
Yeah.
Is that
We're
because
pretty
they?
certain
Is
they
that
do.
because they? Does that have something to do with them not being able to regulate their pulse? That's the way that an
I
adult
think it's just the
probably could or
size
should.
of their body.
Mm.
When they're small, everything's all squashed up in them like a... You know?
Is that why kids have so much energy? Because their hearts are just beating
Maybe, yeah.
super fast all the time, until they learn how to like regulate them. If they learn how to regulate
Somewhat, yeah, I think so. But I hope that sort of gives an insight as to how I see shit.
Has it altered your perception of what it's like to be a son?
A little bit. Never really... I don't know. I don't think I've ever really had a perception of being a son other than like that. Yeah, I don't really stop and think about that stuff. But maybe because we don't really have concrete memories of real toddler youth shit, and like early memories are like when you're real young, like 5, 6, maybe 10 years old. Everything before that isn't a memory. It doesn't exist as a memory. So maybe when she's older, I'll think about how I was a son. But
Like when you're like an age that she is, that you can actually recall.
I reckon so. But like, I don't know. It's cool having my mum around. That like, she sort of does things and mum's like, oh, that's what you used to do. Or like, I think one example, like Violet's like a napper. Like she'll like nap pretty well, and I used to do that same thing and a bit hyper. And she's like, yeah, you're kind of like that. And so, yeah, like,
Yeah, that's something that I wrote down on the way here. Is like, it's cool that you've got so much female support around you, because are you the youngest?
youngest of 4, yep.
Yeah, and they're all girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so you got Marie, Jess, and Lisa.
Linda.
I always get that one wrong because of The Simpsons. It's because of the... Sorry, Linda, if you ever hear this. My bad.
No, Linda's one of the big Simpson heads anyway. Like Jess.
That's why I always get it wrong. Because I think Simpsons, yeah, it's Lisa. Every time I do it. Maybe
she's the middle.
Maybe
Yeah.
because I've embarrassed myself, I'll remember. And then you got Nancy, and then you got Ree and Sharon, and like it takes a whole village to raise anyone.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool that you got that many women and females around you when you're like trying to raise a little girl.
So
you know?
many. Yeah, it's a definite blessing. And I think that, I don't know, Ree always does say, like, I was destined to be a girl dad. Or, like, she kind of picked it. Or, like, she's like... And it feels natural. It feels right. And outside of 3 sisters, I had most cousins close enough to our age were also girls. So I had the only couple, like, boy cousins, male cousins about, or close ones, didn't see them very often. So I was just the little young one with all the cousins and sisters and that, and it was sick, and like heaps of love, you know what I mean? Like, just didn't think any different of it. But Violet's gonna grow into a great little young woman, young lady. Like, it's gonna be sick. Like, it's gonna be a little badass. that's the plan. Like,
Well, she's already smashing away at the drums.
yeah, she's there's not forcing her, but she seems to be percussive, which is cool. But whether all kids are sort of doing that, but I think she is musical to some sense, but I don't know what that is. But
I think even just like that you're giving her the environment, like even just what we said when I was holding her before, and I said to her, I said, you can be as loud as you want, you know?
yeah,
Like giving a kid the freedom to be as loud as they possibly can
yeah,
be,
she
you
can
know?
be as loud
Like,
as she wants. She's always yelling at the house, and
I mean, I
she's
think that's
finding her voice. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool thing to see.
As opposed to, like, I guess there's some parents in some situations where that's not an option, and they're like, you know, you often hear parents telling their kids to be quiet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just, it seems like such a small thing, but like, maybe to a kid, the ramifications of that, you know, not that you can just let a kid do whatever they want all the time, but like, I mean, what? She's making some noise, so what? You know, like... that
Yeah,
can-
she's
it
very
can
noisy.
Only have, like, positive effects.
She loves to talk. She sort of does say dad, like the D sound a lot, but it's mad seeing her find her voice. It's so cool, like finding sounds and just making sounds. And one day she'll work out words and then say them in the right place. And it's like, shit, this is mad. And then we can start, and she'll start asking a million questions, and then that's it. Like, she'll just keep asking stuff. Like, surely you have that with your young nieces and nephews, like, hey, uncle, like, what's this? What's that? Why is this blue? Why is this green? Why does this taste like shit?
I was normally just trying to make them laugh by
Well, there you go.
talking shit to my mum.
The fun uncle's the good uncle. That's kind of how I've always
Yeah.
played it with my little young ones at the fam.
Just pointing out how funny the word baloney is. Baloney. Baloney.
Baloney. It's a very American word, but well, I think it's better than Devon. Like,
That's the same thing, right?
I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, Devon.
But
Devon's shit.
they're both crappy words, but I like that meat, and I don't care how shit that meat is, but
No, it's not the worst.
it's not.
It's like with cheese on, tomato sauce on some
Cheese.
fresh bread.
I've never ventured the cheese combo with it.
Just
Only sauce.
Oh, really? Wow. No, you gotta have it with some cheese.
Yeah, so the whole village thing is real, man. And the village is much appreciated, and there's like aunts and cousins and sisters, and yeah, she loves her aunts, and she's lucky, and I don't take shit for granted ever. Like, nothing for granted, because others don't have it, and that's real talk.
Yeah, I think it's real talk for me to say that I take most things for granted. It's one of my main character flaws. So yeah, anyone out there that can hear the sound of my voice, I would like to apologise for that. Do you know that COMITO in Latin means to accompany or to go along with?
No shit. What?
Yep.
How'd you find this? Is that?
Internet. And in Italian, it kind of means count.
That's cool.
Yep. And I think that's cool because I think of you as someone that can be counted on
Oh,
as a person. And
I
then
appreciate that.
also as a drummer.
I try. Yep.
And then in Spanish, there's pan comido. It's
Pan or pan?
Well, it says what I was looking at, it was pan comido. It's just what came up when I was just looking up what the meaning of the name was.
That's cool.
And in Spanish, it was kind of more like piece of cake / which is piece of cake in the like this is easy sense of the word.
Piece of cake.
And I thought that was good as well because I find that you're really easy to get along with. Obviously.
Yeah, I try. But yeah, I don't trying to get too hung up on too much shit. But that's what that's what comes to my first, I guess. But like, yeah, it's names are mad like that. Like, there's a lot of names before COMITO which had to line up to be that.
Yeah, I didn't look up Paul because I didn't know your middle name. I don't know if Paul means anything. It must mean something.
Well,
all those old.
the story was, I think Mum wanted to just call me Paul Anthony, but I think they got away with it as Anthony because my two grandfathers are named Anthony. So it's just like set in stone, baby. Antonio. But yeah, the last name, like, I know very little about my dad's.
Apparently Paul means, in Latin, Paul means small or humble, which you are neither. So I guess that's why it's in the middle.
That's fair. I don't know. I think my mum just liked the name. I didn't there's any real depth to it. But like, every name has a meaning. But like,
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you have to believe it, but I think.
No, I don't think I'm small at all. I'm
interesting.
fucking loud, brash. You're not gonna forget it, or you're gonna not like it. Type of polarizing, I guess. But what I'm trying to say is like,
polarizing.
I want to know. I need to do my own research into, because my nonno COMITO, dad's dad, died when I was 3. So I wish I would have known him better. But the COMITO stuff, I want to find out more about them all. But you know what I mean? Like, because then there's the Ubaldinos, who we share that last name with your nonna with. That she was called Ubaldino, and then she married a COMITO and stuff. And what was his mother's maiden name and her maiden name, and like the amount of people that need to exist for us to exist and all their names to keep changing is fucking deep.
Yeah, and even how names change over time.
Yeah.
Like when you move to different countries and they get translated in different languages and D's become T's and
Yeah,
just,
well, I
just
think
over time the name just kind of like morphs into something a little bit different.
a lot of COMITOs ended up in Argentina.
And how like
That's the real talk.
I don't know if it was just more of like an English thing. I feel like maybe it was, but I ain't a historian. Like how last names used to be associated with people's professions.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Smiths and stuff like that.
I think so. Baker, Smith, Fowler. Is what Ree. Like I think that was something, but yeah, that's
what's a fowler? Someone that works with chickens?
Maybe, yeah, some sort of like bird situation. I don't know. But you're right though. That's not an Italiano thing of like last name stuff or Latin. I think become Italian, or I don't know. Italian become Latin. I don't know. Latin's pretty important for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, I guess I've just always thought of them completely separate. Did one become the other? Did like a Latin become Italian? Italian. Latin. Italian.
I don't know. That's something.
They're similar words.
I think a lot of people spoke Latin a lot before a certain point, and then it
Morphed
faded
into
away.
Italian?
Maybe.
Like it's split off into like Greek and...
Well, that's why Italian and Spanish are very similar. The way they say things, but they're just spelt differently. There's little S's and things in the way they say
like
shit.
they're all rooted in Latin, aren't they?
There's certain words that are very similar, but across the ways. But
Yeah, and how like words have the feminine and masculine.
actually, we did buy one of those random, like, you can buy your last name or your family's, like, crest, like a little picture, and I think there was, like, a blue and a white sort of picture and shit, and it has a little description, and, like, I think it used to be called Como, or, like, some word, and then that name keeps... But we're talking hundreds of years ago, so I don't know. But in the way of, like, where our nonnos are from, I think that Bivonji as a place is a very old place. There's likely going to be COMITOs there for a long ass time, which is pretty cool. And I want to go back there and see it all and try and find something relevant. But also the internet could be full of shit at the same time. So hopefully the sources were mostly like factual. I don't care if they're not. It sounds pretty cool though to count. I could be counted on, but definitely.
And when did you first get into drums? Oh, no, sorry. And why did you first get into drums? Like, as opposed to, like, the other possible instruments?
Yeah, so I think... I know, like, there's a legit photograph from, like, my first birthday with, like, a toy of, like, drums, like, a little toy of drums. And that was something there. And then I had older cousins, the 3 other male cousins close to the house, Nick, Tony, and Steve down the road, Uncle Vince's boys, they had drums. So I saw them as, like, there's a picture of me at like 2 years old or pretty young behind a big kit that they had, and like they had Iron Maiden obsession. So I was like, that. I don't know. I saw drums early. I guess I saw them, but never really had to learn them. Primary school, I learned saxophone randomly.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why that popped up, but then I think at the time I remember being like, I want to play trumpet. They're just like, nah, you're playing sax. I'm like, fuck it. And then I think at year 6, I just...
Did you feel like a little girl? Because of all the Simpsons you were watching? At that time?
Nah. I actually bought a sax again off of eBay and never played it again. But like, that was kind of dumb of me. But the drum thing was after high school. Because I think then... Year 6, they were like, well, you can either buy a sax of your own and own one, or whatever it is, like, keep renting it and stuff. And I said, oh, no, that's all right. I'll just give up the brass. No more instruments. And then, I guess high school, I didn't take music electives and that. And then by, later in high school, like year 11, year 12, I saw my friends playing. Like my mate Ryan had a kit, and I was like, I want to try that. And I think I just kept tapping on stuff, and I was like, really want to try it. It just was like this sort of urge to do it. I was drawn to it when I was like a teenager, I guess. So then after, whether you know this or not, the first kit that I bought, I didn't actually tell my parents till after I bought it.
Then how did they react?
Then they were cool with it, I think. Like it was like 2006, and I went on eBay, and I'm like, hey, so I bought a drum kit. They're like, okay. And then, I don't know, I didn't like, we had space in the garage, and I said, I want to learn drums, and I was first year at uni, so I was like 19 years old, so I was like, screw it, I'm going to try this, and there's enough drummers in the family. Like Dad's cousin was a drummer, I bought his kit in the end, and my other cousin taught me some stuff, like the original things. Tony, shout out to Tony for that first lesson. I think it gave me 1 or 2 moments of, literally, I was sat down like once or twice, and the rest of it was all me, just like watching YouTube, just sitting there picturing myself and like playing video games and shit where you play drums.
Like Rock Band, yeah?
Rock Band, Guitar Hero. So
it seems like those instruments kind of like, those games like sort of like do have a positive influence on people wanting to learn like proper instruments after.
Well, I felt it was just the repetition of it all. The muscle memory, especially with drums. Playing guitar all day long with that shit probably won't teach you guitar, but I felt with drums, I was doing enough repetition to do it, to make it work, that like, if I keep playing the same songs over and over again, it's muscle memory, And drums are being about coordination. Drums are, as well as, I wasn't interested in learning some like sheet music, notation, traditional shit, but on a screen, seeing colors moving like a visual metronome helped me learn. So the answer is that I was drawn to it later in my teens. I felt conscious enough that I want to give it a red hot shot.
So
I think that I just really wanted to do it because I just love it. I don't know, and then that's the part I can't really explain.
What you said about the Rock Band thing with the colours and stuff like that, in liking that more than the sheet music.
100%.
Does that play some sort of role in what you were studying in uni? Because I remember you made that sound spectrum book, and that was sort of about. It had a bit to do with like colours and music and shapes and stuff like that, right?
Somewhat. That thing at university was more so a theory where I was researching the energy of colour and the emotion of colour combined with the energy and emotion of music, which is very
wow, that's interesting. How much of that? How much of that do you think you remember?
Of the research?
Yeah.
Some of it. I would say like half of it. If I need to try and quantify anything, it's like...
Well, I might have to start sending you more messages about that.
I can I can try and find the research shit that I did.
Because I've become very obsessed with like compartmentalizing like color blocks in my room. So like I've got
You've been doing that for ages.
I know, but I've never. I feel like I haven't.
See, Julian's fucking phone apps are all like color coded. I'm like, what the fuck's this guy doing? But like,
well,
it's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. But I think the university thing is different to the Rock Band thing. Rock Band was a way to learn something visually by experiencing it, whereas the university thing was researching how music and color impacts our emotions, which is like an infinite bottomless pit between every single person. So I've got 5 people marking me who all hear one song and feel differently about it. So how the fuck are they going to mark me about something that I'm talking about? So that's kind of hard as well. So I play them a Hendrix song and they're all going to think differently about that one song, and they might think differently about a certain color. Like, for instance, then I was almost going to tank it all, and the teacher's like, okay, you need to refine this because this is an infinite, like, it's like an infinite concept, if you want to call it that, right? So she goes, pick 3 colors for every genre of music you're going to talk about, and pick some visual symbols for those genres. Otherwise, you're going to be here forever. Like, forever.
But it's not. It doesn't have to be infinite.
Well, I think so. Well, then, okay, here's the thing. Rock music, I think I chose like red, orange, and like yellow. But then, what if someone doesn't want those three colors for rock music? How they feel about them is very...
I don't understand the connection you were trying to make.
The book is somewhere. I can read you the little paragraph at the start of the book, but I can get it.
I guess you didn't know what you were trying to get to. You were just investigating it, but...
For a graphic design degree, I went full-blown
It's probably not the best. Probably not the best. Like, what do they call it? Thesis? Is that called a thesis?
No, it wasn't a thesis because I didn't do. This was a fourth-year major work. Like this was the end of the whole 4 years that I had to.
Like, did you have to answer a question that you set yourself? Is that what you were doing? Because, like, to me, the obvious thing is, and this is how I did it in my mind, is that I made the connection between the 7 major notes in the major scale that we do in Western music.
Yeah, perfect. Yes.
And the 7 colors in the rainbow. So it wasn't a matter of choosing. It's like, no, fucking this note is that color, this note's that color, this note's that color, and it fits together like a jigsaw puzzle. Like it's not. Whereas like whatever you're talking about, there seems to be this like, or you can choose whatever color you want thing, and it's like, no, that doesn't fucking work. Then it does. If you're gonna start like bringing choice into it, then it does become infinite.
I think the one part of it of research was the thing called synesthesia. You're familiar with?
Vaguely.
So that was on part of it of research, but it's more about how does music make you feel, and then how do colors make you feel, and then can those two things be correlated in some way? Which I guess is so existential. That's why I say it's bottomless, because
but I think you'd have to break it down even further into. You'd have to break it down even further into chords.
That's right.
You can't just say how does music make you feel. It'd have to be like how does this chord make you feel?
Yeah. So.
And that way, it's less.
To clarify for anyone,
because at that level, theoretically, like it's less. You know, like if you're playing someone a Hendrix song, then there's like imagery and ego and history involved in it. Whereas like a chord is just a chord.
Yeah.
But then you can strum that same chord softly, or you can strum that same chord aggressively.
Yeah, I think I was just. Admittedly, I'm not. Like keyboard player, guitar player. What you said makes perfect fucking sense, because you got from C all the way up to A. I've got their own frequency of hertz, and they all exist on the mathematical thing. And I'm just a drummer who likes fucking drums and music, and I don't know anything about notes at all. So then I was hearing the song as a whole and about how rhythmic it is and how much it. Like the chapters of the book was hip hop, rock, reggae, funk, and I don't know what the last one might have been. Like,
do drums like
dance music, electronica? Like, so they were the 5 tangents: electronica, rock, funk.
Do drums have color to them? In the same way that you're thinking about like how color relates to music. Like, if you're playing drums or if you're listening to drums, do the drums have? Is there any relation to color there?
Maybe to some, less to me now than 4th year of university.
Everything was fucking color then.
Very colorful. It was all like this. For those trying to visualize this, imagine this like this sort of endless animation of like
fractals.
Like a song in an animation that has this never-ending loop. Because in my mind, music is a loop that never ends. That's all. I don't see it as straight lines. Like even the notation thing, it's a straight line about pitch. Whereas like music to me is like a circle. Because
it's a spiral.
Keeps drumming. You can just have a circle and it just, you count into 8. Just keep counting to 8.
Yeah, I guess in that sense it can be harmonically. Harmonically, it's more like a spiral. I guess rhythmically, you're right. It's a circle. Yeah, that's a good point. So rhythmically, it's a circle, but like harmonically, it's a. because you can play the same note higher up, right, an octave or two up, and it's going to be the same color, whether it's 2 octaves, and I guess maybe in terms of color, I think that the higher it is, it's a lighter color and it's a shorter duration.
Sure, yeah.
And then a deeper, so like a light blue is like a high end a high end like G note, short duration. High up would be light blue, and then a deep bass note G that lasts a long time and it's big and fat would be like a deep dark blue, and it would be low.
Midnight blue.
It'd be low in the spiral.
Yeah. Well,
That's,
yeah, like,
that's how I
no, for sure,
conceive
man.
of
If
it.
you're asking like the correlation between me drumming and where that project come along, I was just trying to really deep dive into music and like what it made me feel in that, and it's the only way I can try and conceptualize it really, because like the reason I'm a self-taught drummer is that like I just liked doing it. I felt like it was something that I enjoyed doing, and my body had that ability to use my limbs that way. Whereas I couldn't, like, yeah, I played sax, but then if someone tried to teach me guitar, I just sort of couldn't get it. It just didn't resonate in my head.
Yeah,
but then it's
yeah.
like, hey, here's 4 limbs. If you can just do this beat, Back in Black by AC/DC, if you can play that song all week, you might figure it out. And then like listen to the next one, the next one, and then...
Yeah, it's quite beautiful, really, because you think of a little baby and they're like Violet, and they've just got like no limb control. Like their limbs are just like, or like when they're a newborn, maybe, and like their life is just like, at least at this point, is them slowly day after day gaining control of the limbs, right? And then all of a sudden, you get some people that end up like
Well, yeah, she
that
can...
Elroy Casagrande, like from fucking Slipknot.
Oh, he's not real.
He's like, that is a little baby boy that's completely mastered limb segregation, for lack of a better phrasing.
He's one of many. He's one of many about doing that.
Do you have a favorite drummer?
Yeah, like... Whoops. I really do. Favorite drummer. It's always hard to like put him in like one person, but it's always like a top 3, top 5, but I hate having to try and justify favorites in any instance, but I'll probably maybe say let's just go like, I'm just going out on a limb here. Clyde Stubblefield. He was Dennis Brown's drummer, and he really pioneered funk in what it is. But then it's hard to... They're no wrong answers. Favorites are hard. Favorites of anything, it's hard. We're like a top 3, like Clyde Stubblefield, Dennis Chambers, and maybe like Bernard Purdy, just because of the way they... Whether you know any of those 3 deeply or not.
I don't know who Dennis Chambers is.
I know him just through like YouTube and things and his own lessons of things, but I don't really know him through bands. But he's just this epic drummer who just... I guess when I was learning drums, learning about the pocket, and...
Is he a session drummer?
I think so. I think he was a big session drummer, and the favorite part of that stuff is like, when I say Clyde or... But then even so, in a rock sense...
Yeah, I was going to say, because they're not exactly rock drummers.
They're not. And like, in a rock sense, top 3, you could say Chad Smith, Mitch Mitchell, of course, who's Jimmy's drummer, who was a jazz guy, who then played with Jimmy, and then who had complete creative freedom to then create something I call jazz fusion, because he was just doing so much crazy shit. And then I think John Bonham, that like I found him later in life. But then rock guys, Dave Grohl, he's like very much up there. Like it could be a close top 3. Dave Grohl, he's so important. Things he did, things he does now, like there's just so many. And then you keep thinking deeply about who they all are. the bands. Chad Smith's like, I don't know, it just, they're like anything in life, favorites, food, movies, music, travel. It's like there's favorites for different reasons, I think.
Well, so like, so you can have favorites, and so like, do you think that like, is there a drummer that's the best, separate from your favorite?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think like people talk about Buddy Rich, people talk about Neil Peart, people talk about.
Do you have an opinion on like who the best drummer is, and whether that whether that's separate from?
I have an opinion on it. I got an opinion.
Or
People can say the best drummer is Elroy from Slipknot. People can say the best drummer is that Esposito guy on TikTok who's a beast of a drummer. Buddy Rich, Neil Peart, like.
Because I guess it becomes a question of like, do you prefer feel or do you prefer technical skill or do you prefer
that's right.
speed
So best,
or do you prefer?
Yeah, best is. It's really difficult to put best because I think it's all relative. Everything is relative. Everything is subjective. Subjectively, though, Buddy Rich and Neil Peart and the greats are great and they're immortal forever. But people may not need to give a shit about them at all. If there's some young drummer, they don't even know who those people are. But like a drummer who's 18 years old right now may not even know who Buddy Rich is, and it doesn't matter because they know who Elroy is and they know who
Buddy
the
Rich
guy from Tool is, and like he's he's on another level. So it's interesting though, like what we were talking about before, the concepts I was trying to do.
That's what's interesting about like
music, color, all these things. Music and color and the project itself, it's relative and it's subjective, right? In the way that you can hear music differently to me. So subjectively, it's different. So we hear the same song. We both think about it differently. So when you put two drummers up against the same song, we'll hear it differently, I think. And have a different opinion about why that drummer's good or not.
Well, in your research, like, do people have differing opinions on how colours make them feel?
Yeah, I did actually. Well, I found the book.
Or is it not like universal, where like red tends to be this colour associated with like anger and passion and rage and earthiness and.
I think so.
Like, is that not universal? As opposed to like people just having opinions about how it makes them feel?
I think so. Well, if I can read something from this, because I found the book now, like the actual blurb of it.
Yeah, if you can read whatever you want.
I wrote, the sound spectrum is a visual journey.
What are you reading first?
It's called Sound Spectrum. That's the project I did 4th year of uni that Julian asked about, which is like starting drums at the start of uni. It's actually now... This is crazy, dude, because you've put me on a fucking... I started drumming at the start of uni. So year 1, I was starting to learn this shit. And then I remember the second year, there was a performance where we were at some place in Penrith and like there was a drum kit there. And then after, like at some point I said, hey guys, can I go play? I literally played a solo for like 2 minutes to the whole auditorium. And people, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? I said, I'm playing drums for a moment. I'm just going to do it. They go, okay. And I went up and did it. So my 4th year, I'm all like, music is great. I'm going to just dive into it about the depth of music in the space of 4 years. So the project was called Sound Spectrum, a visual journey which demonstrates how the feelings and emotions felt when listening to music can be linked to with color and the various feelings and emotions produces within all of us. So, what the fuck? And then, okay, for instance, electronic music. These are the keywords I wrote. Energetic, synthesized, futuristic, bouncy, dirty, intense, hard-hitting, fun, controlling, euphoric. So all those ways electronic music does that. Like, unless you love the shit, you don't see what that is. If you're a rock head, you won't give a shit about going to a rave. But if you're a raver, you won't want to go to a punk show. You don't get it. The emotion of it all. But I want to have all the genres. If that makes any sense.
I mean, there's definitely electronic music out there that is, not energetic.
But yeah, so I'm trying to...
There's like slow, ambient trance music.
There is.
That's also,
To answer what you're asking before, you're sort of relevant. When you say something's best, how do people decide who's the best drummer? Who's the best? Why are they the best? Who's my favorite? My favorite doesn't mean shit.
I don't know.
My favorite couldn't mean dick to anybody, really.
To me,
so.
my favorite is the best.
Well, there you go. That makes perfect sense. The favorite is the best.
But maybe that's not the same for other people. Hence the questions,
But yeah, I think that's an interesting
I feel like
idea.
Best leans towards maybe like technical ability.
Yeah,
Or
I
at
can
least
see
I
that.
feel like that's like it steers the conversation there, but it doesn't. It doesn't have to.
I think maybe, which you're a musician as well, is that maybe we can never truly learn every single thing there is to learn in music ever. So no one can ever really be the best at it. And then, like, people can know a shit ton. Like,
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, like, it goes back to what we were talking about with time. Like, best is like an abstract
yeah, 100%.
concept that isn't actually real.
I think so. I think best is
Like, it's a commercial thing about like selling magazines and writing articles and having conversations and just like having fun with it, but not taking it too seriously.
my mind's going to like Donald Bradman, the cricketer.
Well,
The best cricketer, the best. And then, like, his last game, he fucking does...
But sport is more measurable.
There you go, that's what I'm trying to say. So my mind goes to Donald Bradman that he was the best, but then his last game, he gets out and he's...
Did he?
Yeah, like, something that his average is like 99 point something because you didn't get that last game, and then he is the best, but then he can still be human and fuck up. But yeah, sport and music are differently measured, and music...
And then, the music industry attempts to make music into a... And you see that more and more now, especially with award shows and stuff, and, like, people giving G-Flip, like, all these arias when no one you've actually met in person has ever heard of her or listened to any of her music ever, but apparently it's the greatest thing in the world. It's because it's become this competitive... commercialized thing where it's about like breaking records and stuff.
There's definitely a shitty template to things that just exist on a template level.
But that's the problem with doing that with art, because that's not the point of art.
There's a template. It's not. No template at all.
And it's like, oh, well, this person must be the best because they've sold the most records or won the most awards and stuff like that. It's just as abstract as time is.
For sure.
And that's
I like that though. Favorite is best. Favorite doesn't need to be best. My favorite... Yeah, that's interesting. Your favorite guitar player could be someone who no one knows.
Well,
but he's your favorite.
Well, again, and this is like the great conversation, right? It's like John Frusciante's my favorite guitar player.
He's fantastic. He's a great guitar player.
But like, I don't think of him as the best guitar player. I think of Jimi Hendrix as the best guitar player.
Yeah.
And not because Jimmy has better technical skill. I don't know that he does. I don't know. I don't know that he doesn't. I just think that like I listen to Jimi Hendrix and I go, oh, that's the greatest guitar player of all time.
Yeah, he hit me very hard early in life. But yes.
And then songwriting as a craft comes into it, and so that blurs the lines. It's like, I also love John for his singing and his lyrics and his songwriting and stuff, you know.
And then you also froth on Bob Dylan, who wrote songs for 60 years.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop writing songs, and people can go, well, some of it was rubbish and some of it wasn't.
Greatest songwriter of all time. People say that he's like a terrible singer. I think he's an amazing singer. I just think that like you have to listen to 60 years of his music and then you'll understand...
Okay,
you'll understand one of his songs because, like, once you've heard all of them, the nuance that he puts in his voice in like one song just is just it's like shouting from the rooftops. Just the inflections,
That's
because he's
it,
not
man.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, that's right. Well, like, yeah, the singing. But sort of the two drummers, everyone loves to hate Lars from Metallica, and
I've got him written down here, yep.
he's certainly gotten worse over time, I think. So
He has? He has? Or he hasn't?
I think he has.
Really?
Based on knowing me, did you think you knew who my favorite drummers are, or you had an idea of it, or did you think I was going to say Questlove or some shit?
No idea. I don't have any idea. I know you like Questlove.
I put it down to like a genre thing too.
Yep. You have
Like-
favourites per genres. Like John Frusciante's probably I don't know. It's unfair to say he's terrible, but he's like not a top 50 blues guitar player.
Yeah, John's amazing, but I think
That's not his like particular wheelhouse.
he has a lane. John's in a lane, and like he dominates that lane. Okay, similar in the way of like currently Anderson .Paak, amazing. His drumming is brilliant, and like he's just singing like a rapper. It's his lane. I don't think he can join a rock band and still be the same Anderson .Paak. He can do it. Like his song with Fred again is amazing because he's a great producer as well. But then guys like when I say Dennis Chambers or Bernard Purdy, they're versatile as anything. Like Bernard Purdy was on probably thousands of recordings through Motown. He was one of the most recorded ones of them. And then you go down to like Zigaboo from the Meters. Like he was a session guy probably no one knows about, but he's great as well. But then like other session guys like Dave Weckl, he's probably in people's lists of greats, but no one knows the fuck he is, but he's great. But people know who Stuart Copeland is because he's from the Police, or Ginger Baker. Copeland and Ginger Baker are great because they both traveled the world, had a worldview. Ginger Baker went to Africa for 10 years and learned a shit ton of African things. Stuart Copeland was from a family of a lot of worldwide stuff going on.
And that's one of those things that you can't really measure is like influence. And like where does the influence come into like greatness?
Yeah, so I got so many favorites for different reasons.
I just always have like found it. Maybe I think it's must be like a cultural, societal thing. But like I've just always enjoyed like ranking my favorites in like when it comes to music. Like I'm just always ranking my favorite bands. I just always have. And I think it's silly, like actually, but
Pearl
like,
Jam and Peppers is Julian's favorite bands.
Yeah, that's it. You
can't rank them two. They're on par together. So
no, they're not. They're absolutely not.
And when Julian Frost saying Megadeth and we couldn't hear him, we were too close to the stage. But then he's like, "We're seeing Megadeth." I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this is.
We're not hearing them.
You're like, this guy's amazing, Dave Mustaine. I'm like,
I can't hear shit.
he might be amazing. Like he got kicked out of the last band, but like shit, he might be good now. But fuck, like.
And you played I Could Have Lied. That was like a song that you always bring up about drums, right?
Yeah, I've discovered that randomly. Like, I discovered that very randomly. I did. In terms of like Blood Sugar Sex Magic was out before I was very young when I was out, so I discovered I was older. So by the time I found it, I was probably like 10 years out. So I think when I was old enough, it was Californication, but then Blood Sugar Sex Magic was when I was very young. So by the time I found I Could Have Lied, I'm like, this is great. I can practice to this song all day because this is a nice, easy beat to practice to. That was it.
But just yeah. Not exactly a drum song.
No, it's not at all actually. And then what's awesome is that on the Chad Smith instruction video, he mentions that song and talks about it and plays a demo of it. And it's like, yeah, this is what this song is, and you got to really lock into it and not play too fast or not play too slow. That's the best way to approach drums. Like, you got to control what's going on. Volume and time.
Do you have a favorite drum solo?
A drum solo. One that comes to mind is a song called Glass Half Full of Wine by Tame Impala.
Ah,
That's a mad drum solo on that song.
okay.
I think that's probably the first song I heard of Tame Impala. I'm like, what is this drum solo on the radio? I'm like, why is there a drum solo on the fucking radio? This is sick. And then it's Tame Impala. And then Tame Impala is its own level of great to me. I can listen to that shit daily, happily. Kevin Parker is... I don't think he's underrated, but I think that he's just brilliant. And people who don't know that can just fucking go find out why. Because he is. But like, solo-wise, a lot of live performances of Jimmy and the Experience. Mitch does some cool solos. There's a couple cool solos in live performances, like at Woodstock and Maui and stuff. The Santana, Soul Sacrifice. The youngest drummer at Woodstock, the youngest drummer that was there was about 18 years old. He did a mental drum solo and like epic drum solo. But like that's probably they're very obscure solos, but people know about like Toad and Moby Dick. Like those are two that people know of. But
I don't know Toad.
Toad's by Cream.
Ah.
So it's Ginger Baker's little solo song of just drums for a couple of minutes, but it takes drummers to appreciate drum solos, I think. I think
Not necessarily, but...
Or, yeah. I even mentioned Nate Smith. That dude's insane. No one even knows probably who he is, but he's phenomenal. His drum solos are nuts as well. Whether you've seen him, whether you've seen his drum solos, oh man. Fantastic. Just feel for days, like forever and ever.
Is he a session drummer?
I think so. He was in that group called Wolfpack for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's a session guy. I don't know. I saw him through... Social media is a crazy place to discover musicians. That's how I discover a lot of musicians, really.
Really?
Yeah?
I don't find that, like, I don't think I've ever really found like an actual artist through social media.
Interesting.
Not through like Instagram or... That's my first thought when I think of social media. Not through like Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. At least not like an artist that I've like actively kept listening to and built a connection with or anything like that.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's like just drummers that I find on social media.
Yeah, maybe.
But
it's people posting drum videos. There are a lot of drum videos, yeah. That's one of the cool things about social media, though, is that you can just hyperfixate on something if you want and just only follow drummers and just have that being your input.
I'm trying to do that algorithm to mine, but I try. It's
bend it to your will, like the ring of power.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you have a favourite drum fill?
Phil?
Yeah.
Maybe like Phil Collins. I think everyone has to say that. Like, what? I can feel it calling in the air. That's a drum fill. That's one of the best fucking drum fills.
Oh, I just thought you meant because his name's Phil.
Do 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 boo boo. The drum solo, the fill.
I like the fill in Instant Karma by John Lennon.
Yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah. Instant Karma's gonna get you.
That drum fill
it's fucking
spurred
nuts, bro.
Julian to phone me in a fucking frenzy panic, being like, Mito, you need to hear this drum fill right now.
Did I?
I'm exaggerating, but you were pretty happy to hear it. You're like, do you need to absorb this fill?
It's so good, man. It's so good.
I don't know. That's an interesting question because...
Where did that come from? It's just tucked away in this fucking John Lennon song.
I don't know.
Live.
I guess drum fills are so short that like... Not short, but they're...
No, they are. Like there's that drum fill in Sultans of Swing. So good. It's like 5 minutes into the song.
you can call a drum fill that part in like Wonderwall when it like goes from the bridge to the chorus, or like. But then really, yeah, I can't say I have a favorite that comes to mind outside of Phil Collins. He's a goat. He's great.
I feel like Chad Smith is the most selfless drummer in the history of like popular rock drums. Like that guy, I just feel like he just. I feel like, I mean, I know less about drums than you do. I feel like of all the drummers, he is the one that underplays the most in terms of like purely playing for the song and having no ego about needing to show off or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
I know I'm biased as well.
No, that's all right. You can say that. I think that's true, and I'm going to say that I think Ringo goes in that category too. He plays to the song. He knows where his lane is. He's got... I couldn't imagine being in Ringo's chair with those three dudes in that room, like George, Paul, and John. It's like, fuck, like these three dudes. Same with Chad. He's three guys with him. It's like the interview with Chad Smith and Rick Rubin's very interesting, and the way he came into the band, and he was already doing like Detroit rock bands, and come in and they were just like, can you play? Is your fucking hair long? Let's do it. And like he just knew where to do it. And like, you're right, like he has enough funkiness to be funky, but he also is tight to be rock. So yeah, he's very...
No like solos or unnecessary fills or just nothing to be... There's just nothing... Like, on any of those records, to be showy, it never feels to me like he's
except when it's live.
Attempting to show off. Live, he lets it all hang out.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
that's what's so great.
It's bonkers live.
It's so much fun to watch. That's what's great, because drummers... I guess that's partly as well... I can't even tell you what the first live... concert I went to, it might have even been Peppers, when I had money to go to a concert and see a drummer on a stage. I couldn't even remember who I saw first. Because then, once I realized that there's recorded music and then there's live music, it's like, this is hectic, because they can really embellish the fuck out of the song. You're watching a drummer do things that they're not on the recording, same as a guitar player.
Yeah, that's what got me addicted to the Chili Peppers.
Yeah, because their live shit's different.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just it's a rabbit hole that never ended. You just never get tired of listening to it, because all of the guitar solos are different. Like, he's not playing note for note, you know? He's just pure playing on feel. Yeah. And then intros and outros and just...
That's what Jimmy was. That's why it's so great finding more live Jimmy stuff, because everything's
Except
so
for that
different.
last record that you put on.
Oh, I don't know what I bought today.
My Best Friend or whatever it was.
That was a potential dud. But anyway, hopefully this is clear enough of where my mind is with it, Julian, because I think that we're going in the realms of bests and favourites. It's hard. I didn't mention Ringo at all. Ringo's mad. Like, I love Ringo's style, man. He's great. Beatles, great. Dave Grohl. They're best for their own ways.
Did you ever see the Some Kind of Monster documentary, the Metallica one? Oh, really?
No, I did not. Was it in the release in the 2000s? Was it old?
Yeah. It was like 2002-ish, 1-ish, 2-ish.
After the whole Saint Anger like blowback.
No, this is basically the recording sessions to Saint Anger.
Oh, the recording of... I may even have it on a hard drive.
Yeah, it's the recording session to Saint Anger and them looking for the new bass player that becomes Robert Trujillo. And then they get this counselor in, and he thinks he's like part of the band all of a sudden, and they're going through counselling and making this shit album.
Why would they document this? What is the aim?
Because it's fucking brilliant, bro.
But did they know that it was going to fail?
I don't think they had a fucking clue what was going on. But it's so... I mean, I feel like that's what puts them in a different stratosphere, though. Like, it's so bad. It's so cringe. It's like... It's so spectacularly bad. It's like watching a plane crash.
I had not seen it.
Like...
So what's the main part you want me to take away from this doco?
Good, you know?
Yeah.
Like just the fact that they're such a great band that even when they make something absolutely terrible, they do it to such a degree. Like it's so bad that it lives in this infamy that it just kind of becomes great in its own right. Like as a piece of art.
They would have...
Like watching a horror movie or something. Like it's just...
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out though, would they have thought, okay, we're going to record an album, let's get a film crew, we're excited, and then everything just fucking crashes and they have a counselor. They're a fucking rock band. Fucking duke it out, you bitches. Just fucking have a punch up in the car park. Don't have a fucking punch on.
I don't know, whatever they were
Go for a break. Go to the damn beach and come back happy. Fucking
they're just like
document you with a counselor.
James and Lars are just like bickering at each other. They tell
tell
Kirk, like, for this album, no guitar solos. Lars
Why?
gets that fucking stupid snare.
That snare is in history is the worst sounding drums of anything, and like fuck it, like so.
Like they just went insane. I think after S&M, like, with the orchestra and stuff, like they kind of just lost their minds a bit.
Did they play in fucking Antarctica for some reason? Like, why the fuck would they do that?
I mean, that was a long time after, because they had to be the first band to play on every fucking continent, you know. Because you just gotta.
What a mission.
I mean, I'm not going to recommend that you should watch it.
I may have downloaded it and never watched it. I have a lot of things on a hard drive I downloaded, didn't watch, but like Metallica was sort of lost on me. Probably not on you, but like to me, like I never really, like I knew all the radio hits. I knew Fuel.
Give me fuel, give me back, give me that much desire.
And then that was like peak high school. Might have been in like a video game of some
I
sort.
think, yeah, it definitely was. I think Fuel was the first Metallica song I knew, but I didn't know it was Metallica at the time.
Yeah, maybe then hearing one, I was like, this is pretty cool.
It wasn't even, yeah, and seeing the music video. I saw the music video on like VH1. Top 100 music video, top 100 songs countdown.
I've certainly over time grown to like him more, but I also now like disliking Lars. So that's kind of silly,
and like,
but
do you ever think that that's a bit of a cop out, or do you think it's well earned?
No, well, okay. It is a cop out because I don't know the guy personally, and
I don't know, just as a drummer.
Yeah, it is because I shouldn't hate on other drummers because they're no good. But I don't hate him anyway. I don't fucking know the guy. Like, he can do terribly. Fuck it.
Like, do you listen to Metallica songs though and go, "Fuck, these drums are shit"?
No, I don't. I think every instance of him sucking is like some live instance.
There is plenty, yeah.
So that's not like it's documented that he sucks when he's live, but then he made one, and he made him and the Bell Tolls, and he made all those songs. He drummed them, so he didn't suck then. But
are there any, excluding Lars then, like, are there any like artists or like genres of music or like songs that you actively dislike? As opposed to not caring for them, like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. But like, yeah.
One that comes to mind right now, just out of nowhere, is Baby Metal. They can fuck right off.
Oh, the band.
They can just fuck right off.
Really?
That's just one.
Cool.
But for a while,
why do you hate them?
Oh, because I recently saw them live at the
Knotfest?
The Knotfest, and they were like second last on the bill or third last, and I'm like, this is just some gimmicky trash. Like, why are there three chicks up there not singing anything, and their bands all got masks on, and it's like, the fuck's going on? I don't know. I tried to like it. I tried to appreciate what they were doing musically, but I'm like, there's too much things that are wrong with this moment. I used to dislike country music a lot. I found it too twangy, too much like, how many songs about trucks and dusty roads and fucking farms and shit you can talk about. But then there are some nice country things where I guess go into like a folk thing.
But couldn't you apply that?
I don't like dislike it, but like I just never really gravitated to it. Like a country sort of thing, but then I try to find something I can appreciate in everything. I try and be eclectic as I can. That's what I try to do.
I feel like you can apply that same logic to hip hop.
What logic?
Like how many songs about guns, drugs, money, and hookers can you write?
Yeah.
Like the same as the
is.
country thing. Like
That's fine because they're all storytellers and that's their truth. And then the guys on the East Coast, the West Coast, were talking about what they were experiencing.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about guys like Public Enemy or guys like NWA or Tribe Called Quest, just like talking about their reality, then the country singers have their reality, which is about having a fucking horse farm or doing their life, being country singers and that. There was this one genre that just didn't really like hit me and make me want to keep listening to it. But then you say, yeah, how about makes sense.
Then country music sort of bleeds into rock music though. So
Some
like,
of it, yeah.
Where do you draw the line?
When it's got too much twanginess, like
The drawl.
the drawl, I think it's that. I'd rather have like blues turning into rock than rock turning into country.
So you reckon that you so one of the questions I like to ask people on this show regularly, like every episode, is first concert, biggest concert, best concert.
First concert, biggest concert, best concert.
I know you said earlier that you can't remember the first concert you went to, but you're gonna have to try.
As in like a live band. Like the Wiggles don't count as my fucking child, do they? So like
They definitely don't count.
I'm a child. I was a child when I saw
Probably
them.
my first band too. Then
might not be the case, but Stadium Arcadium Chili Peppers show. I think that was probably the first one I had real money for, and I went to that show. That was probably 2006, 05?
7, 6.
So Stadium Arcadium was released, and it was my first time to see Peppers.
Wow.
That was first show. We didn't say biggest. What do you mean by biggest?
Like the biggest crowd. Like the show you would have seen that had the biggest crowd there to, just being in the same space as the largest number of people to see someone playing music live.
It might have been like music festivals, like maybe Big Day Out or one festival that's gone that I used to love was called Good Vibrations. So it's hard to sort of pin it down, but I would just say blanketed introducing to music festivals as a whole and being around that many people, seeing one stage outside,
Yeah.
That's biggest. And then best, I'll say Daft Punk 2007 Alive, which was the last ever show of their live tour. Which
Really?
Yeah, on the back of the t-shirt, it's like Sydney was the last show ever.
Wow.
So I think that's probably, I'm going to say best, because like Daft Punk were really impactful and amazing, and yeah, it was such an amazing, because like I think on that same day, like there was like Kandinsky supporting them, and then Sebastian, and like that's like one of the first, that would probably be one of the first stadium shows to see one artist. Like it was in like Homebush at a stadium, and then like I remember just they play when it got dark, obviously. So in the daytime, like there was other things that were on, and that was really at the time when there was all this like remixes and dubstep and hearing all this kind of really cool electronic music, and then seeing Daft Punk was just like life-altering stuff, like in a real way, in a positive way.
Yeah, I bet you like probably wouldn't have imagined that they didn't really ever tour after that, as far as I'm aware.
Never again. Or they probably never came here before that either, to this country.
Isn't that crazy?
Very crazy. What's crazier is that I downloaded that set, because once the Coachella thing happened, I downloaded it as a torrent, and I had the Daft Punk live set as an MP3, and I was listening to it on repeat. Like I was like, "This is what the fuck is this? This is insane!" Like they just play Coachella, and then I can download it as a set, and then they announce a tour, and I'm like, "Well, I'm going, like for sure, like epic." Still got the t-shirt, still got the ticket.
I love how many times you can, and not how many ways you can listen to a song, even for like years, and you can still discover new parts of the song like new instruments. Like you can listen to a song like 100 times over many years and not notice this string section or these like little samples or horns or just. This is one of the things. One of the things I love about music. Like I was listening to
for sure.
I was listening to Face to Face. I listened to all of Discovery on the train ride here.
Nice.
And Face to Face has this like flute thing going on. It's hell low in the mix, but there's like this flute sample. I'm like, what is that?
It does?
Yeah.
So I thought I'd listen to that album on repeat for so long. How did I miss that flute sample? I don't know.
Well, I guess you're just getting bombarded with so much melody and harmony, right?
Yeah, Face to Face is a really cool song. I can say that I discovered that with Led Zeppelin, playing them for so long and then playing them back. I was like, the bass parts are sick. Like, you know, like just listen to the bass or like...
For Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, like...
Yeah.
It's always hearing the guitars and the drums, and then when you play it again and again and again, I'm like, these bass lines are mad. Like, it's really sick. So... I guess I find that more with hip-hop as well, because then I hear different samples, then I'm hearing other music, I then go, oh, that's that sample or not. So... Yeah, but I can hear the same songs so many times and still find new elements that are great that I didn't know about. And
Oh, okay. I was wondering how you're relating Led Zeppelin to Daft Punk. What you're talking about?
no, like hearing music so many times and you're then focusing on different parts of it, finding new parts to what you already heard.
Yeah. Or your brain just like fixates on one part after a while. Like I think it's like a mellotron or something like that in road tripping. I'm like, my God, now every time I listen to that, I'm like listening to that as opposed to listening to the guitar.
Is that a kind of keyboard?
Yeah, it's like a string keyboard sort of thing. It's like a tape machine string keyboard. Listening for Violet.
Listening to Violet.
Do you reckon they'll ever make music again?
Who?
Daft Punk.
Together? Probably not. Not that they'll release, but I know that the main guy, Tomas, still makes music.
Does he release it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did the soundtrack to a movie about Salvador Dali in the last couple of months.
Oh.
The whole soundtrack, he did that.
What's that movie called?
I think it's just called Dali, I think.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't think Together, which sucks. And they keep re-releasing things years later. So I'm hoping in 2027 they have some sort of like anniversary secret knowledge about that tour that they didn't tell anyone for 20 years. And then go, oh, by the way, we did this. It's like, fuck. You make us wait 20 years to tell us that. But then they can do whatever they want.
The kick in Aerodynamic. Just want to give a little shout out to the kick drum sound in that song.
Yeah, I don't know if that's... Oh, man. I don't know if that's sampled or if that's actually just like a drum machine, but they're just on point.
It just hits so perfect, man. That's so good. And also, I wanted to shout out Something About Us. I just feel like that's always the song that I can't remember that I know is on the album, but I don't know the name of it.
Yep.
But it's like my favourite song, especially like the second half. It's just so funky. It's so like watery and funky and just...
What I can say as a throwback memory, learning drums, that was what I also practiced on.
What?
Something About Us.
Oh, really? Yeah, the guitar in it just... And the bass, like... It's absolutely incredible. If you could go back in time and witness any historical performance or concert, what would it be?
It's a big one, Julian.
I know, I'm full of great questions, hey?
So many decades.
Ree has entered the chat.
Re-entered on a really pivotal moment. Baby's crying. Julian's question is just like decades long. I need to just like really think about that answer for a moment if I can. If you can just give me a moment, please, on that moment, because I need a moment.
What do you reckon?
it's such a huge question, and like, if only time machines were real, and like you could go to multiple things, and
No, you can't go to multiple. You can only go to one.
you get one chance to go to one and come back, and fuck, because there's like three. I want three, but I can't have three.
All right, no, you can say 3, but you have to rank them in favourites.
But they're so polarizedly different that like this is why it's gonna just be so strange. Or anyone else who has this same thought, like,
Well, you do have quite a varied taste in music, I've noticed.
so. Just too deep on shit because it's just like they're different. Ranking them, possibly would say Woodstock, to go to Woodstock, because then you could spend the whole. Imagine going there and having like no phone, and like you have to go with your mates and you're stuck in traffic, and just the adventure of that shit. And seeing Jimmy at like 8 a.m. on a Monday because they're running 8 hours behind and no one else is there to see him. So it'd be more like seeing Jimmy at Woodstock would be some sort of pinnacle moment of like, that would be really cool. But then admittedly, the band he took there was pretty unrehearsed in a way, and it wasn't his lineup, and it would have been really strange for them to go, hey, this is a new band that we've been rehearsing at a house in fucking outside of New York for a few months and having a good time to do it, you know what I mean? But then it was a really off the wall moment, but it would have been also a very iconic thing to hear that thing outside and see him do it. It would have been nuts, you know what I mean? Other one would have been Up in Smoke Tour, which is like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Exhibit, Eminem. Like that, seeing that in year 7 at high school, just like, it was, I'm pretty sure I recorded it on VHS off of SBS.
Seeing Eminem play Kim
I think he performed that song. I think
to her face.
that song is a deep song, but
Actually, I love that song.
yeah, it's,
I love the whole Marshall Mathers LP, but I just love how vivid the storytelling is in that song. Like, I know it's dark, but like as a kid, so many pictures in my mind. Like I was listening to that.
It's very
way
dark.
Younger than you should, but
Well, yeah, that's a good point. So like Up in Smoke Tour,
it's just so vivid.
2001 was when Dre released Dre 2001. So like I'm in like 7th grade, 8th grade. So I'm like, hip hop is like this North Star moment. I'm like, this is amazing.
Well, I mean, that let's let me like interrupt there with. So your answer's Woodstock, by the way.
Definitely Woodstock. I don't say
wait.
Woodstock because I think Woodstock.
Was there a third one that you were going to
The
add?
third one would be Coachella 2006 when Daft Punk played the first time because I would have seen them when everyone's like, because they more or less told no one what they were doing. So when they unveiled that stage, no one
Knew Daft Punk was there.
Well, they knew they were playing, but no one knew what they were about to see at all. And it was the biggest light show in a long while for that kind of a stage and that kind of a show. So there was like, people were fucking floored.
So I guess just backtracking to what you said about hip hop being a North Star, one of my questions was,
Yep.
was there a specific, like, well, you know, like, is there like a distinctive path through your musical tastes, or were you just into everything all at once? Because as I know you listen to so much different music.
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. The path was hip hop.
Like, is that what you were into first?
Yep.
And when you were youngest and stuff?
Yeah, because I'm not going to count anything before high school. I'm not going to count.
Okay. I count stuff before high school.
Like, admittedly, I've got a tape recording singing Soul to Squeeze off the radio as a kid. Like, I knew of the Peppers and I knew of Kiss because I used to sing like, but like that wasn't any level of. What I mean is, I feel like that my consciousness of music
starts in high
really
school.
kicked off, and I'm like 13 years old.
Okay, cool.
So before high school, anything I heard, I enjoyed it. I could dance to it. I could enjoy it. But then hearing rap music and hearing hip hop music and hearing Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, like as one big part of that was like when I had money to buy a CD, I went and bought like an Ice Cube CD and a Snoop Dogg's debut album, which was 1993, but in 2000 it's like 7 years old. So I had a debut of Snoop, which by that point he had released other things, Dre, Snoop, and Ice Cube, and I was like, okay, these. I think someone gave me a burnt copy of Dre 2001. I'm like, this is amazing. I got a burnt CD. Didn't pay for it. And it's Dr. Dre, and it's 2001, which I played repeated. So, yeah, hip hop was this really cool thing. So young, I'm like, the beats are cool. They're rapping, and then I think as well hearing Jimi Hendrix on The Simpsons. Like, this is cool. I want to know what the fuck that is. I think it was Watchtower, possibly when Homer's mother was there and they're like breaking into the Mr. Burns lab. There's like all on the Watchtower playing, or maybe Purple Haze.
So like, were you not? You didn't.
You know?
You weren't listening to Iron Maiden before this, or you don't? You just don't count that.
No way.
Okay.
I got this shirt at the concert like last year. Like,
No, but you mentioned that your cousins.
I was terrified of fucking Iron Maiden.
Get that head away from me.
No, honest. They had a room with Eddie on the walls, top to bottom, and I'm like, I'm scared of that bedroom. I don't want to go in there. So I
Iron
wasn't.
helps us play.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like that clown that Bart hates.
Yeah, for sure. The imagery was like, this is scary, but then when I'm older, the music's dope because like they're really impressive. But then like, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's like a rhythmic thing. Hip hop first was like, it wasn't like drums, guitar, bass, and a singer. It was like beats and rapping. So I was like, this is cool. And then like, there was a really important moment too when I was in early high school that my sister went to university with a guy who was like a DJ, older than me. He gave me a couple of CDs of like just random artists, like Tribe Called Quest and Q-Tip and MF Doom, and he showed me about all these things I didn't know about. I'm like, this is fucking nuts. Like, this is endless. And then
You know, I
it's
saw
like,
Method Man and Redman once.
I saw him too. They're so great.
Blackout.
Amazing. I think I might have been on that same tour that they come here. Like, the first Wu-Tang song I heard was in 2000, which was, I think, was bloody Gravel Pit. And I'm like, how is that my introduction to Wu-Tang is fucking Gravel Pit, which is a great song, but that's not their song. ODB's in jail, and you're not even in that song. He's like not even there. But there was a guy in high school, Red. He was frothing on Wu-Tang. And he's like, dude, these guys are the greatest thing ever. I'm like, I'm sure they are. And then once I heard 36 Chambers, I'm like, this is unbelievable. And then like, I don't know, I really enjoyed digging all the underground side of things, you know, like on the West Coast there was like Stone's Throw Records, which had Madlib and MF Doom, and finding out who Jay Dilla was and all the shit he did, and then finding out who the Roots are, and then I don't know, this fun exercise of just all these artists.
So rock music's almost like it's like secondary to hip hop in terms of your musical development.
Rock come from Jimi Hendrix and the Chili Peppers, really, I think, as like some way I can pinpoint like why I listen to
and I guess
things with guitars in them was because of those two
there's
artists.
somewhat
and they're
overlap.
both fucking decades apart.
Yeah. But the Chili Peppers did have like a hip hop element to them.
Definitely. That early stuff was really cool. But yeah, because I think I remember seeing the album cover, What Hot Minute, I'm like, that's cool. Like, why is there like a girl on the cover and like, you know, like your tap. It's just...
Yeah, I love that album. I was watching the football last night, and during one of the ad breaks, they played Warped. I was like, yeah, this is sick. I'm just like...
On like Channel 7?
Yeah. I'm
What?
like, someone somewhere is like Just deep cutting the Chili Peppers right now.
What a song.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, my first Chili Peppers was By the Way as a birthday present. Like, that was probably one of the... Yeah, like, I was in there from By the Way Californication time.
It's interesting that you like use high school as like a jumping off point.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's the difference. Because I think of just the first time I remember music, and that's the jumping off point.
Well, I think as well important. I know we're different of age, 5 years apart. Like, Rage and Video Hits was like really important on the weekends to see music on TV. So like, I guess I was young enough that there was the radio or there was the fucking video channels on the weekends to hear music. So like, I didn't have internet and like streaming to consume a shit ton of music and find new shit all the time. So like, I think another early memory was seeing the Daft Punk clips around the world one more time. Like, they were like iconic clips.
Yeah.
It's like, that's
Especially
a mad
One
song.
More Time.
Yeah, like, it's like that was always on TV.
There was nothing like One More Time when that, like, on music videos when that came
I
out.
had no idea what that was, but it was sick. It still is sick.
There is something really cool though I noticed today. Like, I was walking to the store to get a sandwich, and I just walked past someone that had like a Fleet Foxes shirt on, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to listen to my favourite Fleet Foxes song. And I just whipped out my phone and chucked it on like 2 seconds later. And I was like, man, this technology is amazing. Like, if you have that urge to do something, that the freedom is right there at your fingertips.
I'm going to look up who Fleet Foxes are because I don't even know who the fuck they are.
Fleet Foxes is the band that Father John Misty played drums for before he became a great solo artist.
That's pretty cool. He played drums.
Yeah, he just played drums.
Actually, the reason I say high school is because everything I would have heard, my parents weren't playing music a lot. That was the thing.
Yeah, all right. So that was another question. Is your sister's influences and your musical tastes and your parents? Yeah,
sister's influences were just
girl
generic
shit.
pop music,
Yeah.
Spice Girls, etc. Fucking
See,
Mariah Carey at fucking Christmas.
So your parents didn't play much music.
Surprisingly not.
No Sinatra or Dean Martin.
They had records. I got Dad's records and like.
So my dad
he
played Johnny Cash and the Irish Rovers.
Yeah, so I think my old man would have had some of those. Like, he would have played like rock stuff, Roy Orbison, like
Traveling Wilburys.
I think so, based on that fact I got told at the wedding that was one. I didn't ever know that shit, but
because Roy Orbison was in the Traveling Wilburys.
There you go.
In case you didn't know,
I think it
was George Harrison, Bob Dylan, Tom Petty,
what a lineup.
Jeff Lynne, Roy Orbison.
Yeah, well, see, that's a great. I wish I remembered that happening when I was too small, but his record collection, Dad's only got like Beatles' greatest hits and like other shitty records that are just nothing records, and like I think he liked Johnny Cash.
He didn't play him?
No, well, I didn't think I had a working vinyl player until I was a teenager. So then all that stuff, I'm stuck with tapes and the radio, and then the radio was playing pop music, and I like the one song I remember loving as a kid was "God Gave Rock and Roll to You" by Kiss.
Oh yeah, sick.
I remember liking that song, but then
it's a classic.
I guess nothing stuck. I guess I was too young to give a shit about things. Whether it's going to happen to Violet, that like since day one I've been playing.
Yeah, you just weren't like passionate about it.
Since she's small, I've been playing like a lot of electronic music to Violet just because I'm in this phase where I'm playing a lot of it. So like, she was born the weekend of Tomorrowland, a festival in Belgium. So I'm in the hospital watching a live stream of Deadmau5 in Belgium. She's like a day old. Like watching it happen at like 2 a.m. Just like, bouncing around happy hours. And now she kind of knows that pulsing music. Like, I play dubstep for her, drum and bass. I play house music for her, plus everything else. But yeah, I think high school was just because I guess I don't know. I find that when we're between 11 or 12, you get like a good consciousness, I guess, about shit. You kind of care about shit differently. Versus, well, that's how I did it. Whether you cared about things when you were 5 or not.
No, you're right. Like, it just makes me think about, I don't know, there's a whole nother tangent that you can go down all about, like, nostalgia and, like, the role that, like, nostalgia plays in, like, music and the music that you love, and how there's, like, there seems to be this certain time when your, like, taste and love of music, like, becomes, you know,
Sure.
like it cauterizes, like it becomes hard, like.
Yeah, or maybe even like I was saying, North Star, like your taste in music kind of illuminates this like with bright light, and you go like, "Fuck, it's pointing where I need to go now." It's like, shit, now I know. Like when you said you heard Pearl Jam, you're like, "Fuck, I love Pearl Jam forever." Like,
still does.
You
It
heard
still
it.
does.
You
I
were
was
like,
listening to
what the
Pearl
fuck?
Jam today, and I still had that feeling of like, this is pointing me somewhere.
Well, yeah, maybe, or like, I think
Literally,
it's possible with
literally today, I felt that
Trey
way.
and Snoop Dogg, like, and Ice Cube and Exhibit and all those awesome West Coast dudes, and then finding Biggie Smalls, and Tupac. I don't know, they made me feel things. Like I enjoyed it, but I can't relate to it. That's the weird part. Like I go from the suburbs, enjoying music about their struggle.
Well, I guess you can relate to it in some way, or you wouldn't like it, right? Can you like something without being able to relate to it?
I think so. Like, I guess lyrically I can't relate because they're talking about growing up in the projects with nothing. Like RZA in Grits fighting over a spoon.
Yeah.
It's
Or
like
maybe you can relate to
one stick of margarine.
kept my family from starving. That's a great album.
That's a great album, you know. RZA's great, but
Birth
like
of a Prince.
I think it was just more that like the rhythmic part of hip hop is cool, and then learning about sampling was cool.
I guess that's
And the
something
Clive Summerfield thing.
That's something that Daft Punk and hip hop have in common.
Yeah, well, it's really
Sampling.
cool. To learn more about Daft Punk, like their first album called Homework was them using all their hardware to make all these songs, and then the second one they did a deep dive of sampling and built a bunch of shit from disco samples. And then
What about the third one?
they still sample, but they also just did their own thing. Even after all, like Robot Rock.
Like actively played guitar. Wonder if they
Robot
recorded
Rock
the guitars
is
themselves and
such
stuff.
a big chunk out of a song, man.
Who played that?
Robot Rock?
Yeah.
Oh, the sample for that's just like the entire start of a song. Like it's
Is it?
Yeah.
It's
It's really interesting about how much I took from that.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot of it, and then they just put the words Robot Rock on it and just arranged it a certain way, and it was brilliant. But
Great. We'll make this.
yeah,
better.
like
I mean, like, another one of my questions was like, do you go through different phases with the music that you're into?
yes,
Because again, to me,
definitely
from the outside, it just seems like you're listening to everything all the time.
to some extent, I am. Like even a phase when I met you, 2019, I dived into bands just as like a concept, like music with bands, you know, and then love of Nirvana and Pepper's deep love more so, and even just anything with bands, because I'm like, okay, I'm actually drumming and playing with someone now, and we can write songs, and I'm learning your songs, and we're just doing that. And but yeah, so like you asked if it's sort of changed. I've kind of lost what you asked as a whole. I'm sorry.
It was just whether you go through different phases.
Yeah, I
With the
do,
music
because I
that you
think that
listen
in the last 6 months, maybe 12 months, there's been a lot of electronic phase, drum and bass, house music, Like, I still play the other genres, but the phases... Like, for instance, there was a phase where I was playing a lot of classic rock. So, like, I guess...
Yeah, like you might play a couple of songs from a certain artist that you like, but then you'll go back to like hours of electronic music.
Yeah.
Is that how it sort of manifests?
Yeah, that's what happens. And then I will say working the new job is a different context, because when I was in an office, I have to share the speaker with the room. And when you're in an office, you don't always get the choice of how much music you can listen to, and you got to be on phone calls and emails and shit, and there's one speaker for the whole room. You got to fucking share it with 30 other random people who don't want to hear your shit.
Yeah, that sucks.
Plus, you got to talk on phone calls, so you can't play it all day. Whereas then working outside landscaping, I can literally be playing music for 8 hours straight and not be bothered and not turn it off. So then sometimes I'll play the first chunk of the day. I'll play hip hop. I'll play Action Bronson all morning. And then Tame Impala for a couple of hours. And then at the end of the day, I'll put on more house music, because I want to sort of tap into a tempo, maybe feel like, even other day I was playing Jay Dilla beats on purpose so I could focus, because it's like a nice, slow, I need to focus. I'm like, okay, Jay Dilla beats. And it's just like, just beats, not even like songs, just instrumentals by Jay Dilla. And then helps me focus. But then... yeah, I can play electronic music all day, or I can play rap music all day, and then Tame Impala is this weird phase that just, there's never a time and place where I can't play Tame Impala. Whether you're in the same place, man, but like, fuck, he's good. So, yeah, definitely phases of it. And yeah, there was a phase where I was playing a lot of Hendrix for like 2 months, and then I was like, you know what, I've had a lot of Hendrix, so I'm kind of okay to come back to that. And then Daft Punk for a few months, and then every year the Spotify top artists are likely the same, and then everything's in phases, I think. But yeah, like, you know.
Do you have a favorite album of all time?
All these favorites, fuck.
Yeah, I know. It's my bread and butter.
Okay, well, I'll just clarify that favorite. Fuck. First one, I'm just gonna say what come to my mind first, which was like the Slow Rush Tame Impala from like 2 years ago. It just popped into my head, but then
Cool.
that's not favorite. But then
Well, that can be the answer.
good with the answer, or even I could say, or even like Discovery. I think Discovery's up there.
Yep. The Slow Rush is the gem.
It is a gem, and when I heard it, I played it for nearly a whole year. So I think that's justified what a favorite album is. I think, and again, everything's subjective to what I think something's your favorite. And for those who are listening who don't know of that album or like Tame Impala deeply, then that's a journey of an album. It really, he's always made interesting music, but this one really kind of makes you feel shit. You listen to it, you're like, fuck, this is really cool. And like, I think it's trying to communicate something, and you feel things, and that's what a good album does, you know. But there's tons of others, but you know, so many decades like of things being made before me, you know. But ones that go from start to end are ones you can always bank on, you know.
All right, we're gonna keep with the favorites for a minute. Or should we get that wine?
Yeah, I think it's canted enough of cantering for the moment.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting. I just think that, like, when you ask people about their favorites, it says a lot about them. Because, like, I don't know, most people have favorites things, you know?
Yeah, I think it's...
So most of my conversations end up at a point where I'm just asking people about their favourite stuff.
Well, I think favorites are good, and I think if you can be confident to commit to something, then...
Because you're never going to meet someone that has all the same favourite things as you.
Yeah, you're going to find someone I will comment on that and say, meeting you, there's a fuck ton of overlapping of things that we did have favorites on, but like there are obviously things too that I'm like got zero level of favorite that you do, so that's fine.
What's an example of
That's
that?
okay.
What's an example of that? Do you think?
Of like a total polar opposite of things that
no overlap.
I know something comes to mind. Just if I'm thinking like broadly, like you enjoy horror movies as like a genre of movies, and like I don't really.
Oh,
but that's not really.
Not especially.
Okay. But I'm saying that, like, yeah, there are more things that we kind of, I guess, agree on and have favorites than not. And I can't think of the things that are not right now.
Don't mistake me for someone that loves horror movies. Although I do like The Conjuring.
I fucking hate that kind of shit, man. I don't want to be scared.
No, I understand that. I'm normally the same. I don't like to be scared either. I don't watch scary movies for the sake of it. But I don't feel like the old classic ones really count because they're not very scary because they've aged differently.
That's true.
Yeah.
I should watch more of them. But favorites are good. Like, it's just hard because...
So, favorite food / cuisine. Yeah, like it's a rude question. On any given day, I could go like...
It's just a hard answer between like... But then...
Turkish, you know. I don't think it could be Indian because I don't think I eat enough Indian, but good Indian's fucking amazing.
If cuisine is like a cultural thing, Italian. I'm just going to call it... I can eat pasta and meatballs and pizza fucking endlessly. But if I had also...
Mexican? Like, Mexican I normally think of as my favorite.
That's good. Strong fucking... There's strong options in that too. But when I say fuck, it's just because like I can eat burgers every day.
Oh, really?
Burgers and like analyzing burgers and trying to... Just burgers and fries as a whole, like... I want to master that shit. Like I feel like I've got to a good mastery of meatballs because I'm Mito the meatball, but...
Have you had a burger
mastery
when you go see your sister in Roselle?
Yeah.
Have you had Rob's Burgers?
I think so. That butchery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The smashed burgers. So
we had it a while back. I think that there's no table, so you got to take it away in a bag. So it's always a gamble. You got to eat it fresh.
They're amazing.
You got to find somewhere to sit.
They're so good.
They are actually pretty impressive. I should have one soon because always hunting for a good smash burger. But,
I started eating them like I slept on it for like a year and then I had it. And then when I had it, I started having it very regularly. And then like I had
single or double patty?
Double. Yeah. Rob special. And I had to I had to stop because like they started to not be as amazing, but because I was just becoming desensitized to them. And then I didn't have any.
Or did you find you were ordering them at the same time of the week? Because I would think that if it's like...
Nah, I think I was just having it too often.
Yeah, that's fair. But I'm saying like if it's always like a Saturday lunch versus like a Wednesday dinner, like...
Both.
Yeah, because I think that if something's busy and packed, you might get a less of a nice burger than when it's less busy. That's how I see shit.
Yeah, you got to have one at like, you know...
But yeah, from memory, it was great. From memory, it was great.
Before the dinner rush comes, you go and
but then who the fuck wants... Is that like a late lunch or an early dinner? Like a 4:30 burger? Like
I'd rather have the early dinner and not have to wait 30 minutes for it.
Okay, well, like...
That place gets so packed, man. The sidewalk is just full of people waiting for burgers.
If we're going to talk about cuisines, does burgers just fall into like American cuisine? Or like, is that... Because if we're talking about cuisines, like what pasta is Italian, fucking tacos are Mexican cuisine. Like,
it's a good question.
Falafel is like Middle Eastern cuisine or like cuisine shit. Burgers could be American cuisine, and like I like American food, but there's zero health to it. Like, but don't always need. But yeah, favorite food, I'll say pasta because I think you can have so many. Because I think as much as I love burgers, pasta is like this infinite, like the shapes and the sauces and the meats and the cheeses and Like, we made a dope carbonara tonight. Well, sorry, Rihanna made a dope carbonara tonight. Carbonara, guanciale way.
Delicious.
And I guess there's this, like, feeling of, like, something about my grandparents sort of eating pasta a long time ago and memory shit. That's what one of our
love making
favorites and
pasta,
shit. Like, early memories every weekend. Go to my nonna's house for Sunday pasta. Like, that's just stuck in your life. It's just best.
For us,
food brings memories and fucking nostalgia and greatness. And about nostalgia, food is nostalgia.
Okay.
Food outside of, well, I guess, yeah, music come later, but food was nostalgia hard because big family, everything was always about the table when you fucking have a meal again. Whether you do the same thing, you know, like, or just, I had a cousin across the street, cousins, I could just crash their meals. Shout out to the Ghoulers, by the way. Shout out to them that I could just crash any lunch or dinner most days and they'll be cool with it. And like, same in my house too. Like, you can come crash my meals and shit. But like, I know. Favorite food. Because yeah, the Italian thing grew up. I had a lot of schnitzel growing up, but I think Italians just took schnitzel and just fucking made it real.
Yeah, the veal, veal, amazing. Veal for real. Bit of lemon on it, nice and thin.
Veal for real.
Smashed. Just hammer the fuck out of it with one of those mallets.
So you grew up with veal schnitzels as a staple in your house?
Probably not as much of a staple as it should have been. Thursday night was the pasta night in my house. Every Thursday.
What I mean is,
every Thursday night, pasta and meatballs.
What about chicken schnitzels? Wasn't chicken in your house?
I mean, sorry, Mum. My mum's not the greatest of cooks. Hopefully she...
Off the record.
Yeah, off the record. Hopefully she never listens to this.
No, but you can do a good crumb. If you can get a good crumb. But like a Thursday night pasta would have been sick. Like,
it was, yeah. There's always the day of eating that I look forward to the most.
Just never run out of cheese and everyone's all just like reaching over each other to get the last piece of bread to dunk in their last bit of sauce. You just want to, like, you got to get that last. You got to have a clean plate. You can't have any sauce left, and like the meatballs.
Yeah, that's right.
You never have too many meatballs, and it's just like. Then when you start working, it's like shit. There's lunch tomorrow. Like
I'd choose Italian. I'd choose Italian over Mexican too, but I guess because I don't make Mexican, so it's kind of like my favorite to go out and eat. Like enchiladas and tacos and burritos and nachos.
It's a strong cuisine.
There is something delicious about Mexican food. Jalapenos, all the sour cream.
Yeah, I think you lost me in sour cream, motherfucker. But like,
You don't like sour cream?
well, not like drowning all the Mexican food in sour cream.
Oh man, I have never had enough sour cream.
Like, I fuck with guac, but like I won't.
Nah, no one's ever given me a plate of Mexican food, and I've sat there and gone, "Geez, that's a bit much sour cream." Ever, it's always there's not enough.
Yeah, same with olives for Julian and Marto, because dude can just fucking live on olives for 24 hours straight and he'd be okay with it.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think I'm not trying to fact check anything I'm saying, but I think the Mexican cuisine, as the Italian thing, comes down to like what's available with them. So the whole Mexican thing, like I think the whole corn thing with maize that could make tortillas out of, like, making the bread was the key. And there was meat and bread, and then it had the vegetables and shit. Whereas the Italians had the flour and the egg, and they made the pasta, and then they make tomatoes. I guess tomatoes make sauce, make pasta. If you're in Central America,
corn,
you just have that shit, and you make tortillas, and then you make tostadas, enchiladas, all that great shit that we love, you know.
Tamales. You ever had like a good tamale?
I think so. Yeah, Reed put me onto that shit. It's amazing. It's just cool how, I'm just going to say that it's cool how cuisines come based on the geographic location, what you got, what you can do with it, and then that's why you get Americans with fucking burgers and fries, because they're fat asses. They just want to just make burgers and fries, but
it's all processed.
That's not discrediting that cuisine. What I'm just saying is that, like Europe, Asia, Africa, I want to get some African food and really eat it and try that.
Well,
As a cuisine, you just miss out on it, right? We don't really have a lot of option in Sydney, but
as someone who loves burgers so much, like, do you rate just like a good double quarter pounder?
I rate a double cheeseburger over a double quarter pounder, but I used to eat single quarter pounders.
So
Kind of stopped when I was younger. I was like, oh, quarter pounders is like a big cheeseburger, but then I'm like, actually, I don't like it anymore. We're back to the small ones. But
I recently, like within the last month or two, went on like a mini Hungry Jack's binge. Just like every few days, like I went to a few football games, a few weekends, like in a row, and had like several late night Hungry Jack's feasts before I got home. Maybe like once or twice on the way to work.
that's
Like after not having Hungry Jack's for maybe like 7 or 8 years, and I was like, "Fuck, this is pretty good,
that's valid. It's not
pretty good."
the kind of shit that I crave. Like if there's options, I'm gonna eat anything but Hungry Jack's. It's probably my last choice, if I'm honest. But
It's just right there in the city, isn't it? It's like,
so is everything else. KFC, Macca's, all the shit.
oh, so that's just your last of all of them.
Yeah, if I'm really stuck, I'll have Hungry Jack's, but I'm not going to look for it and try and eat it. I'd rather eat Red Rooster, or I'd rather eat
Oh, don't get me started. on
Guzman
Red Rooster.
Gomez, or I'd rather eat Macca's, or I'd rather eat anything else. Hungry Jack's, I guess, is just the whole flame grilled thing, but doesn't taste right. I don't really vibe it.
Really?
I've never eaten a Whopper in my life. Never eaten a Whopper in my whole life, so I don't give a fuck about a Whopper. I don't never tasted it. It isn't entered my fucking.
Fuck.
It doesn't enter my fucking gravity, so I don't care about Whoppers. But
Well, don't knock it till you try it, mate.
yeah,
What's wrong with flame grilled? Wouldn't you want your meat grilled by a flame?
I'm gonna question how much flame is in Hungry Jack's fucking establishments at any day point. Besides a goddamn just like a hot oven or some sort of like flat fry pan. But
What about Indian food?
what's that?
What about Indian food?
Yeah, I don't mind it. Again, I'm not like rushing to have it often, but
Do you like spice? You one for spice?
no, a pretty low tolerance. A bit of a bitch on spice, but
Okay.
like I like it, but then too much and it just ruins my whole vibe.
Sushi?
Yeah, I like sushi a lot. I like it a lot. Like, I definitely branched out. My original sushi was like avo and tuna, chicken and avo.
Yeah, that's all I do is chicken and avo. So yeah, I'm basic bitch when it comes to tuna. That's for sure.
100% basic.
Did you ever see when you were growing up? Did you ever see any wrestling?
Live?
No, just like on TV or anything. Like pro wrestling seems to
Definitely.
be this thing that like people become peripherally aware of.
So
I'm just wondering, you're
What
a
I'll
bit older
say-
than me.
what
Like,
I-
were you
what
ever
I'll
flicking
say-
through the channels and there's Stone Cold Steve Austin?
after watching the Vince McMahon documentary, I was watching the Attitude Era.
when you were a kid.
I was peak age when The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, Hardy Boys, China, that era of wrestling, which
The golden era.
it was golden era, Undertaker, Kane. I was convinced they were brothers. That's how far I went.
They
I'm
were,
like,
mate.
these-
They were.
they were. So like
Always will be.
wrestling, yeah, I was really into it. I don't know, maybe I think end of primary and just sort of like into early high school, and I think
So what year would that have been, you reckon? Early 99?
99 to like
2000.
2001, maybe 3, which I guess is early 2000s. So then me and my cousin used to watch it a lot, and then I don't know why I stopped. Maybe I can't recall. Like I don't know who left or who was there, or like when The Rock was The Rock in wrestling. I was like, this is great. The Rock, Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, fuck all those guys, Goldust, Ric Flair, fuck,
All right.
Booker T.
Yeah, talking my language.
Then, actually, I think to answer this question, real talk, there were good video games in that time.
So
in the day
good.
of
Amazing.
wrestling games. So
The
I would play
best.
N64 or GameCube shit of wrestling games of PS. So I guess I'm old enough that there was good wrestling video games and it was on TV when it was all those superstars. And then I guess mid-high school I kind of stopped, and then
The wrestling games are so good. At
Things
least
all
of
changed
that
and-
era, they were just
yeah, because like you could use weapons and do like ladder matches and cage matches and
so good.
Mankind with that sock and
And the characters just looked really good as well. Like the technology was...
yeah, that Vince McMahon doco was really interesting.
Watch the whole thing?
Yeah, fucking oath.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Dark stuff, but like dark in the way of just how he run the place, but he's successful and his father sounded like an asshole, but like
It's really...
it was all just a business because then once The Rock left and Stone Cold left and they make new heroes and new villains and it's all just a fucking big show, which it is a show, but then like
I find that documentary one of the best examples for me of like how do you separate, and that's hard enough in wrestling as it is, but like how do you separate like art from the artist?
yeah.
It's like I don't know where the line is with Vince McMahon, like because he's a on-screen character of like Vince McMahon, the crazy billionaire, and then he's who I love. Like like Vince McMahon, like just never get sick of seeing him on my screen. Like just he is the best. He's amazing, you know. But
what I'll say to that, there's one part of it I remember Hulk Hogan like. The character of Mr. McMahon and Vince McMahon, there's zero difference. Like, he just straight the camera is like he's the fucking same, but like he just flat out says it. He's like, this isn't a character anymore. This is who he is, and he uses the character as a way to just get away with all of it.
that makes sense, doesn't it?
Hulk Hogan got fucked around, but like he come back and then left and come back, and it's just like, but it's just wrestling. I think. The greater idea of all this concept, when I'm older, I'm like, oh, this is all bullshit. Or it's all like, no, okay, bullshit. It's all just show and it's not real enough. I was like, I don't care anymore. I was old enough to not give a fuck anymore because I was like, but now, when I'm just young enough, I'm like, oh, this is cool. And like, you know, I'm enjoying it. But then when I'm older, I'm like, yeah, I don't really care anymore. Like, yeah, it's impressive to see them backflip off a top rope and like, crash through chairs. Like I always like the things with like weapons was always fun to watch. But then once I saw
I guess it does
more
like,
things, I was like, okay,
I guess
now
it
it's kind of lost its vibe, you know. And then now I don't even know half the people on there
because sooner or later you've seen all of the moves, right? Like
somewhat.
There's it's like rare that you see something that you kind of haven't seen before in terms of the actual like in-ring product. And then, but that's where it's about the characters and the stories that they can tell and how they can like, keep you invested when like, fuck, how many pile drivers have I seen in my life?
Yeah, but I think it was interesting, the whole like Triple H and like McMahon's daughter. It was a storyline, but then they got married in real life, and then like he really married her, and then they really cheated on each other, and like. What was the other story? I can't even now. What was cool? I think I did Disney Plus or whatever has wrestling. You can watch all the old WrestleManias and you go back to the ones of that.
No, Netflix, isn't it?
Maybe Netflix. I think probably that is because I think that's where they got all the wrestling now. So you can watch 1999 WrestleMania in 2001 and you can see all that shit going on and you just forget about it all, I guess. Or like, I used to like Bret Hart. I think he was cool. Well, like Shawn Michaels with that big chin kick, but then that's like their signature move. You want to see them do, I guess the core of it, you want to see them do their move. Like you want to see people's elbow and the stunner. But then I love this video where he does about 8 stunners in a row and he's like, The Rock always did it best. Like, Rock just like lands on the ground, bounces around. It's like, he really milks it. It's like, the fuck's going on? Like, it lost its sting. It lost its like draw anymore. Because I was like, I can watch other shit now. I can just watch Dave Chappelle. I discovered that. I was like, this is great. As opposed to wrestling, but
All right. Wow, that was good. I didn't know you were like.
there was a little window of time.
Yeah, good window.
Yeah,
Classic era window. Kurt Angle.
Stone Cold's the best.
He is. Yeah, he's so good.
Him showing up, just crashing beer cans, just pushing people out the way. Not giving a fuck about anything.
Oh man, when he started doing the what chants, he's just going what, what, what.
Yeah, then The Rock did something similar where he's just like, it doesn't matter what your name is. He just like cut you off at any moment he could. It's
All the
just,
catchphrases.
they're good,
Larger
right?
than life.
Yeah, just characters. That's all you want to see is characters, really. But
Yeah, I'm still addicted to it. I just love it.
I know you
I just
are.
love it. It just makes me feel warm and fuzzy. I just don't get sick of it. I just think it's brilliant. All right, favorite movies. What comes to mind?
I know, like a lot of Jim Carrey comes to mind.
Cool. Yeah, strong.
I'm just going off my own head, like things like Ace Ventura, both of them, things like The Mask. But then like animated movies too, like they were cool. Favorite movies. Yeah, a lot of Jim Carrey pops up. Things like Mallrats. You know what that movie?
I think I vaguely.
I guess,
it's the
yeah,
one
Jay
with
and Silent Bob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah.
Kevin Smith
I don't
movies
think
like Mallrats and
But I don't know if maybe I saw it once.
Dogma. That's a great one. Favorites. Favorite one high end favorite is called Chef. Jon Favreau. Brilliant movie. You know, you're familiar.
No, but I feel like I've seen the cover.
He has like a food truck and like it's about food and him like connecting with his son and having a food truck and just selling Cuban sandwiches and things, and it's a really nice movie that you can just enjoy in that. And yeah, I don't know. I guess, but again, that's early Jim Carrey. Like he probably fell off, and whether you can put in like all the Marvel flicks in some way or like probably not. Fuck that. They're not favorites at all. They're just good movies. Some of them are good. Favorites. It's really hard. I can always give an answer of music and food, but like I don't even know, like it's just one of those fucking things of like I've seen a lot. I just want to see what's in the watch list because that might give a help of an answer because
So you don't? No, it's all right. You just don't feel as strongly about movies as, like, say, some of the other things.
I tend to watch a lot of docos actually about anything. I like learning things. Or like I used to watch some docos about nature and music and shit anyway, or just some history shit. But like
the David Attenborough ones and stuff.
yeah, they're great.
Life.
I used to love that shit because it's just like you get to see real things going on.
That was so good when it came out. Life was amazing. Working in a fucking store selling TVs, and they just have life on all of the screens, and so you're just in there selling TVs to people, but you're watching these animals fucking tearing each other apart. That's surreal. That's a surreal existence.
Well, I
We
kind
are
of
not in Africa anymore, Houston.
yeah. Seeing that one where like 5 or 6 lions took down a whole elephant like at night, and then like they were like, "This is pretty graphic. Get ready!" And it's just like, "Whoa, that's fucking grim." But
Or like watching the giraffes swinging their trunks around as
their neck
weapons.
is just powerful as fuck. But like, yeah, I base favorites of movies based on how old I am and like what was good when I was young. So things like Billy Madison, Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, all those like silly, funny movies and things.
Okay. Not so much into like the drama or the action.
Not really, I guess. I don't know what an action movie was when I was little.
The Rock.
Like, I don't even care about
Nick Cage.
I don't
90s
even care
Nick Cage.
about bloody
Con Air.
Jurassic Park that hard. Like, I liked it, but it's not my favorite.
Okay.
You're going to hate me, dude. You're going to hate me, but I've never seen fucking Con Air. I think we could, like, watch that together. Like,
Why would I hate you? We're going to have a fucking
I
great
think my
time.
most
We're going to have a great time watching Con Air,
I think my
mate.
most memorable Nick Cage flick is Gone in 60 Seconds, which...
Vinnie Jones.
Amazing movie.
Shout out to Vinnie Jones.
So I think... But then, like... Yeah. There's
Angelina Jolie with the blonde hair.
There's just notable mentions more than favorites, more so with movies. Like, it's like... But I count a favorite as what I can watch, like, often and not hate it and not be sick of it, you know?
You like Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. All right, then I've got to watch that trilogy again. That was... Yeah, they were mad.
I probably watch it like 3 times a year.
I can't remember the last time I watched them. A couple of years ago now. But
TV shows.
Simpsons. Forever and ever. Simpsons is always the first answer. I will... Even though they're up to now, they've just announced season 40 is coming, 800 episodes in.
Do you have a cutoff season? Where you just go, nah, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, I'll go as high as like 15.
Yeah, that was going to be my number 2. Yeah, 15.
Between 15 and 20 is not great.
I'd rather not.
Like, I can watch them, but like I don't give a shit about them. But like, I know it seems awful, but like, yeah, when...
No, they're not. They're objectively not good.
I don't say Simpsons because like most of my cultural knowledge of pop culture and just a lot of things come from Simpsons, and like I actively taped it off of the TV and then rewatched those tapes on repeat and just absorbed a fuckload of the whole thing.
That was a hard answer for The Simpsons. Like, hard as in fast. Seinfeld didn't even get a look in.
Yeah, that's a later in life thing. When I'm in my 20s, it was like, okay, Seinfeld's great. I watched it through and then just now keep watching it all the time, and it's just
constantly.
It can never get. I can never get sick of it. Like, that falls in the same category as like Workaholics, Seinfeld. I can never get sick of those shows to watch them over and over again all the fucking time.
No. Workaholics is not in the same category as Seinfeld.
No, it's not. I'm just saying things that I can watch all the fucking time, day in, day out. Seinfeld's iconic in its own way. And it's funny. And I like watching it now going, if you had a fucking mobile phone, you would just erase this whole episode because you can just talk to each other. Or like, even without the phone, when they go to the movies and like they keep... Okay,
Get the tickets.
Yeah, and my friend's a tall guy with curly hair. My friend's a short guy, looks like... Just say their fucking name. Say his name's George. And then if the guy goes, who are you? George. Okay, there's your ticket. Like... But that's not funny, Larry David. Like, you got to just try and make it difficult for all of them.
Do you ever...
He's a doofus.
Did you ever watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No.
Do you like...
I know everything that's... I should watch it. Even...
Do you like awkward humor? Like, do you like humor where like,
probably
it's
don't.
just people in,
goes
like...
over my head too much, so I just fucking don't. You know, man.
Because that's like the main premise of the show. Is just he ends up in these situations that are just like excruciating, painfully awkward. Like, oh man. And like Seinfeld, like some of the episodes they just build. Like he's just
yeah, well,
in these like...
Is Curb Your Enthusiasm got like an arc that if you watch it from the start to the end, there's something happening across all the episodes, or is it just sort of each one?
I think as it goes on, it starts to happen maybe across seasons. Like it is linear, like it's his life sort of going on.
I really should watch it,
but it's more. It is more to do with like it's just like in time for like he's just like in the episode just planting seeds with these like. His refusal to adhere to like social norms and cues and stuff. And then it all just comes together and crescendos into this like horrible situation.
But is Jerry Seinfeld in it as an actor?
Jerry?
Yeah.
There's one season where they do the Seinfeld reunion.
That's probably the one that I actually saw.
Yeah.
But
There's like that's a whole season.
so I
arc.
shouldn't watch it saying Larry's character is George or this character is Jerry. It's
No,
like,
Larry's character is Larry.
It's its own show, its own characters, its own stories.
Yeah.
But I think I would watch it
Yeah.
too much going, oh,
And then sometimes
Why is this
Jerry and like the Seinfeld characters will show up occasionally, but
it's its own show, its own characters. So I
Yeah,
think
yeah, totally.
if I watched it, I'd be too biased of like trying to compare it too much, which doesn't help.
you wouldn't compare it because it's not the same format as Seinfeld. It's not a sitcom.
Is it a show where season 1 is like really dog shit hard to get through, or is it like it starts
No,
off
it's
strong?
it's hilarious. No, like it's not the best season, but it's like if you don't like season 1, you probably won't like the show.
It's hard. Some shows you really got to hit through the season 1, and you're gonna go, okay, this is getting good. I'm gonna wait it out.
Yeah.
It's
So-
coming. It's coming.
So you seem like you're a lot more into comedies and just stuff that makes you laugh,
yeah.
rather than like dramas or
Yeah,
know.
probably like the most serious kinds of shows I used to watch. Like I used to watch the show called The Blacklist with like fucking
James Spader,
James Spader. Or I used to watch.
who serves the ice cream.
Yeah, that's semi-serious. Elementary. That's a drama. Probably not. It's just like Sherlock Holmes type shit. I don't know. I'm not really too invested in things that like that kind of shit. I guess just cheap laughs. You can just watch it and just be like, I don't care anymore. Turn it off.
That's good.
Man of Simple Tastes.
Did you ever get into did you ever play Metal Gear Solid?
No. Although it was peak time when I was... I'll tell you why. Because when it was PS1 or N64, I had I had N64.
Yeah.
So if we didn't have a PlayStation 1 to have Metal Gear Solid 1 when it was like the hype had begun, then you would have played it. But I didn't have a Sony, so I didn't play it. But
But you were aware of it.
big time. It's important. Are you asking yourself that I did play it, or did you play the fuck out of that game when you fucking obsessed?
No, I played the fuck out of Metal Gear Solid 2. And it's one of my favourite games. Just wondering if you ever played it. Because I know that, yeah.
My house is at a Nintendo house, predominantly. Never owned a GameCube, but we had
I feel like that alone gives you an entirely different childhood
massively.
to me. Like, because I was not in a Nintendo home.
You're in a PlayStation home.
It's like Mario means nothing to me.
Oh, fuck you.
No, it doesn't. Like, it just, like, there's no nostalgia.
It doesn't need to, but
There's no nostalgia or sentimentality or, like, just care factor.
well, that's okay. This is why we're 5 years apart, because when I was fucking 1996 getting a Super Nintendo and playing Mario World,
I was
my
shitting in a
fucking
nappy.
world was rocked. Rocked my world. Big time. It was like, this is sick. But yeah, I was fucking young, 9 years old, so I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Mm. What was the most played video game, do you think?
On the Super Nintendo or just on every console?
Both.
Super Nintendo is probably Super Mario World or Mario Kart, and then N64 was like Mario Party games or a Zelda game, Ocarina of Time.
I was going to say, did you ever play Zelda? Yeah.
Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo, amazing game, still holds up. And then Ocarina of Time was on N64. I didn't really ever play much after that. Actually, I didn't do Majora's Mask. I didn't even do the ones. Ocarina of Time was the last one I played for ages. Actually,
It's kind of like just like a quest game, right?
yeah. You Link, and you got to try and beat the main guy who's like ruining the whole world that you live in
And how do you do that?
by going through temples, and you get these little, I guess, pendants, I guess they were. And in Ocarina of Time, you go to a temple of time and you like go from a child to an adult, and you just go, like put the sword in a stone and it blasts you into the future, and then you're adult Link and you walk around and you do more shit, and you beat this Gandalf guy, or what the fuck his name is. Yeah. It's a quest. And I bought a Switch on day one with Zelda Breath of the Wild and never finished it. So as time went on, I never finished video games very often, so I just kind of dropped off finishing games 'cause I'm useless like that.
I remember the last time I was here, we played that baseball game.
On PS5?
Yeah, we just sucked. I had no idea what was going on.
On that, like recently?
Yeah. Just striking out.
Yeah. Sports games are like hockey and like soccer, but baseball's a tough game to play. Madden, I'd play Madden with you because I think you would enjoy the fuck out of it because you like NFL. But
Yeah, I do like NFL.
yeah, baseball games are tricky. Yeah, most played games, mostly Mario games, and then Rock Band. That's all I say. I guess, yeah. As I'm older, it's like I want to play music games because it's just quick to pick up, put down, play.
Have you ever have the Parramatta Eels like always been shit your whole life?
Well, yes, to an extent. But they did win 3 grand finals
Before you were born.
I think when I was born. So like, yeah, like I was trying to figure it out because short answer is yes. Okay, they were never really top of the pecking order. So they got hella close. They got goddamn close. But they won, 81, 82, 83. There you go. The answer is no, because the last premiership was in 1986. And I was born a year later. So no. But they did get into the grand final in 01, 09, and 2022. And lost. Like idiots.
Yeah, they've really gone down pretty hard since then.
Yeah, they're just a team that just sort of banks on just like 1 or 2 players, and when they don't play well, then falls apart. Like this season started shit with Mitchell Moses with an injury, so then they don't play that well, but they have this really great new player called Lomax, who is good, but they got that guy from the Bulldogs, that Adokar guy. He's not bad, but then see this. I don't know enough about the team as to why they suck so bad. But not doing too well.
Like you don't follow it closely enough?
Oh, I haven't. I have in more recent years, but all the like politics of the club.
Which is very interesting.
They recently converted the ground near my house to like their practice ground, which is in Kellyville, like around the corner. Like,
I was gonna say, like is Parramatta the team geographically closest to where we are? Or?
probably, yeah.
Okay.
To Kellyville it is. We're in Kellyville right now. 2155 represent, motherfuckers.
Parramatta's not exactly close to Kellyville, is it?
Yeah, fuck yeah. It's like 10 minutes away. 15.
Parramatta?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can drive to Combank Stadium right now.
This shows how much I know about...
What?
This shows how much I know about where things actually are.
Oh, you're some fucking...
New South Wales.
You're from the fucking other side of this country, mate.
Hey, how's drum teaching going?
Really good. Finally have 2 students. And they've come from word of mouth. One's my neighbour, which is awesome. It's cool to have a diversity. Like, young Ryan, he's been playing about a year and a half or a year and a bit, so he's kind of getting there. Like, he's really good spot, you know, like he's kind of in that come up. So I'm just sort of helping him to sharpen it all up and get real refined and think about what he's doing in a real deep way. I know he wants to be a mad metal drummer, and he's going to be, you know, like, but there's limits to that shit. So I'm trying to give him the foundation of what you can do. And my young neighbor, Byron, like, he's at the beginning. So it's like I can show him from the beginning. So it's this really cool way to practice keeping knowledge. That's what I want to do. I kind of missed the boat of, like, doing all the live stuff that I thought about a lot coming up playing now, it's like I can just try and help others to learn. Or also do solo things too. Or things with you, or things with anyone, you know, like just collaborate, be a collaborator. But yeah, the school is cool, the teaching is cool, it's fun. I feel like I'm learning as I'm doing it. I know what I want to do.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions, is do you find yourself learning, like, simultaneously?
Yeah, because I'm figuring out how to think about how to explain a concept, put a concept in the air, but also applying it in 45 minutes. So it's like, okay, this is the concept to think about. This is how to approach what we're doing. But then here's how to actually do that concept. Even if it's just like I was doing before, counting to 8 or having our two hands coordinate in the right way. That's a concept, but then to do that takes years. Like they say the best, you know, like guys like that guy on Instagram with the big beard, Esposito, like he would have played 8 hours a day for 5 years before making any TikToks. Then he's a fucking beast. And then now we go, hey, this guy's solid as a rock, but he also had probably years worth of deep in the bunker playing to no one to get that good. So anything just takes fucking time. 45 minutes at a time. I just try and make things that stick in your mind a bit. Anyway, I can try, and I learn every time, and I use social media and like other content to sort of help to frame what I want to teach. So, yeah, it's going well. I think it's going well. I'm at the beginning of it. Mind you, I've already done things so long ago, finally to get students now. It was like a long time coming in a way too, which is weird, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Because like BWR and drum, I thought it up like 2010 out of a necessity to like self-taught. I didn't want to look at black dots on a page, so like, you know, created something new, but that's just taking time for it to sort of, I don't know what the right word is, like solidify or become, you know, real.
Yeah.
Things take time. Like I made it up. Takes time. 2 students now, could be more later. Like I'm intending to grow it for sure and just keep fucking doing it because I want to make more drummers out there. Be sick.
I think that's good.
Yeah, it's going great. I want more to give back. That's what music's about, right?
Yeah.
One big part of it in my heart, but there's a lot to it. Enjoyment is mainly too, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think there's like a giving element to it though. Kind of like how you learn things when you teach, right? There's like a reciprocal, like a giving and receiving happening at the same time.
Yeah.
If it's done the way that was intended.
Yeah, well, hopefully by the time this is out, my video... I filmed a video like 4 years ago at Pleb, just talking to the camera for like half an hour, trying to get everything out of my head into the camera. Sat on that video for 4 years, and now finally editing it and just being on YouTube soon, and like it's a big intro to what I'm trying to express.
Oh, you're not playing the drums in the video.
I am, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Playing and talking. So I originally wanted to sort of cut it up small little chunks and then make little chunks of it and then take it out in little pieces, but then didn't do that. So now I'm just like, fuck this. I'm just going to just work on it as a whole. Edit it up, make it look a bit nicer, have a bit more engagement. Go on YouTube, promote it a little bit, keep going. I've never been one to shy away from just getting out there. Like I'm relentlessly doing this shit forever. And you know that for more than anyone, Julian. So
Yeah. Yeah, the drive is real. The hustle.
Hustle is always the way. You always gotta just want the hustle. Like, part of the hustle is wanting to do the hustle, as well as... I'm talking shit now. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but...
No, definitely. You have to want to do it. Because otherwise, yeah.
The hustle's always there. Everyone's got tons of ideas and tons of motivation, but whether they want to act on that motivation and ideas...
Yeah.
And fucking do it.
Follow it through.
And grind.
Mm.
And make it so... you know what I mean?
And lose sleep over it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be up when everyone else is sleeping, right?
Whenever I can, I try. Whenever the young Violet's asleep, I just try and put time into what I'm doing. So,
I reckon that's a good place to end it. I could keep asking you a bunch of questions, but I reckon that's good.
That's okay. I appreciate it. And there's mad things to come on the horizon. And yeah, I appreciate that you got support in this world to say, Mito, you can do it. And that is a good thing.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that you can do it.
Yeah, so the hustle's real. The message out there to anyone, always hustle.
Oh, did you
believe in yourself?
And do you want to mention that sample pack as well?
Yeah, so on online is a free bunch of beats that were recorded at Habitat Studios. It's called Incognito Mito. It's a free download on SoundCloud and Bandcamp.
Incognito Mito.
That's the correctness, and it's just beats that you can download and just practice to, or produce with, or just listen to. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. I just want to share it with everyone. And if it's free or not, I don't care. I just... I'm drumming. I love drumming. I love music. And yeah, you're a legend, Julian. Appreciate it big time, brother.
You're the best.
Thanks, bro.
We'll do it again.
We'll do. Till the next one.
See ya.
Wow. Apology accepted, and, you know, this is something that I think we've all learned from. You know, everyone makes mistakes. You know, you look around in society all the time. You know, we just hope that our mistakes don't leave permanent scars. And, you know, I think things that you make mistakes and learn from become real positives in your life. We do things with a lack of judgment sometimes, you know, but when you learn from those, I think they can improve your life.